Oh, holy cow.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna remember it. I'm not gonna know any.
Oh, do you remember how to play it too much?
I know, right?
Ooh. Bright light.
Well, it's cool. Man, I got nobody online. Wow. Let me check my Xbox out, because I know sometimes it doesn't show my Xbox friends on. Shit, rust covered in my Smite fingers. Rust is not even the word. Man, everybody's on Call of Duty, man. Jeez. I don't know, man. I don't mind it sometimes, but man, the hackers in that game is unreal.
Oh, yeah. I seen a guy earlier snipe a guy out of the air when he was caught falling down.
No, no, no.
Sniped him again as he was falling and
Yeah.
killed him before he hit the ground.
That's not cool.
I don't know how he did it. It was like, to me, it seemed like he was hacking to be that accurate.
Right.
Okay, it's working. Yay!
Yay. You got a gift. How'd you get so lucky? How the heck did you get so lucky?
Where's my gift at, though? I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. The battle points booster. Oh, wow. Cool.
Oh, yeah. It shows Jim online. Look at that. Oh, look at
Oh, yeah. I just got that.
Wait, what the heck? How'd I hear you twice? Oh, you're talking in the game? Testing, testing. Oh, I'm talking in the game too. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, it does, because remember, you're on a whole different system.
Of course, I haven't played this in forever, so my settings probably got changed anyway.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter full screen Borderlands, because it's technically still full screen, so it doesn't matter. Hey, what the heck was off? What's off in the settings here? What is this? Use raw dot physics? Turn that bad boy on. They're funny. I like watching that. USD 3 or D3, yeah, D3 D11. Usually I do like that, but I'll just keep it as is. Screw it, whatever. I mean, this game is, I'm not really looking for like super fine details right now.
Oh yeah, we gotta have ragdoll physics on. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you know Project Zero plays Sea of Thieves too, right?
No.
We're gonna have to get Project Zero. I went I was on a mobile stream though. Me and Project Zero went sailing one time. We had a good time. We did one of the I think it was Tall Tales. I think we did the Tall Tales.
Yeah, I think I was watching you guys do that.
Yeah. Let's do Joust. Something not too crazy. Joust is like my... Yeah, let me look at Gods. Who's new? How do we know who's new? It doesn't show anybody new. Let me do it this way.
We hacked it. That's how we did it. That's how we got the fight.
Assassins seem to be all the same, except for... No, wait. Yeah. Let me look at Warrior. Oh, all these guys look the same.
I know there's some new ones. I just don't remember who.
Okay, I see a Yamoja. That's a new Guardian. Mage. Well, you know they always add new mages for sure. No, I don't see a new mage. Wait, what? There hasn't been any new gods? No way. Hunter. Oh, they added a new hunter too. I don't know how to say his name. Hamidalar? Himidalar? Oh. Whatever. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm blind.
Is Thanatos a new one?
No, Donato's been here. Big nerd, all right. You play Sea of Thieves too? Look at that. I think we all have it, you know, for the most part.
What about Hunbat?
Nope, Hunbats is OG still.
Okay, yeah. I don't play this enough, so I know which one's which.
Right, here we go. Make sure you hit accept. You don't want to get man, they added so many new skins, man, but man, these skins are expensive, bro. They're like $8 for one skin.
I know.
Too much moolah, man. We're in quarantine right now. We're in recession. Let's everybody get those stimulus checks.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for mine.
Yeah, man, you're so lucky, bro. But you know what though? Oh, I thought my game crashed for a second. All right, we got a mage. What do you want to go, Jim? Dang, that music's loud.
Let's see. Don't know. Where the heck are we? I was thinking a hunter.
Go Hunter, yeah. Okay, Cupid and Agni. All right, all right. How the hell do I choose my role with? Oh, I gotta do it this way now. They changed this. What the heck? Oh,
Yeah,
there we
I know,
go.
that's what I was looking at too. Like, what the heck did they do? I can't find. how to
She's
pick-
new. I want to try her, but I don't know what she does. Just to be safe, I'm gonna go OG status. All right, let's do this.
Do you know anything about the RX or the Vega,
what?
56 or 64?
What's that?
The graphics card.
Vega? No, I'll have to look at it. Honestly, man, it's all like, you know, based on like you know, since I'm doing CFD, I mean not CFD, since I'm doing Smite, I should just be playing music really. Man, I hate this copyright, bro. Like, I know there's non-copyright, but then they still like want to mute you and you gotta like fight it, and it's annoying.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's too much work, man.
It's like it says non-copyright music, and then they still. Oh yeah. How do I buy?
Press I for inventory, yeah. Shit.
I pushed recall.
The hell, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, let's go. Showtime.
Oh what? Oh, an auto
Oh, it's a new map. Oh, they changed the way this looks. What the heck?
Oh yeah, this is different. Okay, who grabs that? Me?
Yeah, you grab that. Or technically, if we had an assassin, they would. That's for Agni. Get in lane because they're pushing. All right, let's do this.
Ah.
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. Ugh. Man, really? What is she doing? I'm pulling back. I'm gonna pull back. Be careful, Jay.
Okay.
Watch behind you. Wow. You really wanted to get me. Watch out behind you again. Why do I feel like my sound is all weird in this game?
Wow.
I can't hear the game.
Yeah, it's kind of.
The audio is like,
low.
yeah, it is kind of low. I think it's my settings, bro.
The sound effects are like super loud, but everything else.
Main volume, why is it down? Holy.
Ally has been slain.
There we go.
Your middle tower is under attack.
No.
You have slain an enemy.
Yeah, bro, I was on that one. A Vega 60, Vega 56. I almost bought it. Oh, Kels almost bought it.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, they changed this whole layout on things. That's how you do it, bro.
I see.
Oh no, no, no.
An ally.
Oh, careful, careful. Oh!
An enemy has been slain.
Did I get the kill? No.
Ooh, that was close.
Man, I almost had him too. That sucks. Okay, I forgot auto
Your
for
middle
those,
tower
so,
is
yeah.
under attack.
Right, right. Man, that's a close one, man. I walked right into that like a dummy. And oh, hearts. Oh. I'll grab this for you so you can get some mana back. Oh, careful, careful your health. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I walked right into that. No!
Slain.
No!
Be revealed.
Did you do better with this on Xbox or do you like it on PC?
I like it better on PC.
Yeah. I don't even know what to build right now. What are we up against? We got Mage. I don't even know what that is. Oh, no, wait. That wasn't Humdollar. Wasn't that a new hunter? It was like a
I
physical.
think so, yeah.
Where the hell are my items at?
Ally has been slain.
Oh, I got a kill.
Careful.
An ally
Oh.
has been slain.
What?
Mm.
Hey, I almost had full health too. Wow.
Yeah, still it hurts. Oh, you are a Cupid.
Yeah, pretty good person. Why does it not tell me the player's names? It just gives me the name of the guy.
Oh, it might be in your settings. It might just be in your settings, thingy.
Okay, because, yeah, it looks weird with
An
the
enemy
mirror
has been
above you.
slain.
With the dungeon. Oh, ouch.
You have slain an enemy.
There we go.
Good teamwork.
Oh yeah, no, you stunned or somebody stunned.
I hit it with my heart.
I see.
Whoa, what the? He knocked me out the map? What the hell was that?
What the heck?
Oh, that was weird. That was kind of cool. I was enjoying that. Get some Moors back out there again. All right, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming. I'm coming, man.
You have slain an enemy.
How we do it, man. That's how we do it. Okay.
An enemy has been slain.
Ooh, nice. I got another kill.
That's the way to do it, man. We did it. We did it. What is that? Like,
Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower.
okay. I know he's a little worried now. Oh, watch the ultimate. Ooh. Okay.
Can you dig it, sir? An ally has been slain.
Oh man, I had both of them too.
Oh my god, I missed. They're both so low health. Nice, Agni. Get him, get him, get him, Agni. Get him, get him. Ooh.
Killing spree.
Nice job.
Ability he has, wow, that's a good.
Mm-hmm.
Killing spree.
Oh, should they use?
Deicide.
Yeah, he was trying to gank us. Stream caption. What's the stream caption?
This in a long time. Isn't that too
Dude, I'm doing weird. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to get back into rhythm. I'm definitely rusty for sure. Hey, what the hell am I building?
How do you get that, like, it's like a distance marker thing that you could actually tell where you're aiming at?
Oh, that's when you hit your ability, you just press it once and it will show you. You better run. You better run. You got scared, man.
that hurt.
An ally has
Wow.
been slain.
You just sit there waiting for me.
An enemy has been slain. I'll defend.
Oh,
Did you just say I've been pimp slapped?
Rampage.
Oh, wow. I like that character, the Agni. I just been pimp slapped.
yeah. The custom skins say different things. All right, I'll check out Discord in just a moment. Project Z, I'm gonna check it out, see what's going on.
Character I would get.
Right, right. Oh, okay.
Get him. Oh.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, watch the right. Oh! Pull back, pull back. Careful, they're coming. Watch it, she's gonna grab you.
Be revealed.
Behind you.
An ally has been slain.
Hmm.
Just what I was trying to get yelled at too.
Yeah, right, right, right. No!
Your middle tower is under a killing spree. Your middle tower.
No! They're all weak.
Rampage.
Wow. Okay.
Oh no! No! They're at our Phoenix.
Phoenix is under attack.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, and you gotta understand too. You know, like a lot of these games, when you play on a different device, remember, like your game makes a like a system UI file or INI file.
An enemy has been slain.
Has ended.
Oh, back up, back up. Oh, oh, you're back. You're good. Oh no!
Thanks.
I gotta pull back, man. We're all low on health. That was a close one, man.
Yeah, that was.
That was close. Okay, well, let's do this again.
I like how everything fills up this.
Can you dig it, sir? Swag it.
An enemy has been slain.
Smite low. Take it right.
Killing spree.
I have.
Okay. There we go. See, I play a Guardian role pretty good, right? Let's attack it.
An ally has been slain.
Hey,
Ooh.
Rampage.
Ooh.
yeah, you forgot about that. I forgot about that too.
Right, he's doing good.
Remember that game Stream Captain?
Yeah.
We forgot all about that.
Oh, but that's the one where you gotta have like viewers join you, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like marbles. Yeah, a lot of those games though require lots and lots of viewers. I'm gonna keep those queued though for sure. Like I know early on is okay, but I've seen like a streamer do it at a later level. You need viewers to help you out. You need a lot. The concept is there, but it's definitely for bigger streams.
Yeah, it's you gotta have at least. I seen some games or people play that they had only 20 viewers and man, they were struggling.
Yeah, it's. I've looked at it and I'm saying I'm like, I looked at that. I was like, I don't know, man. Later levels are insane. Yeah, I do like it though. It's cool. I mean, but it definitely
Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Oh, at least you killed the guy though.
Right. I'm just gonna.
Too close. Oh, he just got destroyed.
Shut down.
Oh, he died. I thought he did.
Nope, that is not good. I'm gonna knock this down for you. You can grab that red buff. Yeah. Oh no! Yeah, it's crazy.
Has been slain.
Oh, I was trying to get to the thing.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
Smack your mouth.
she
I
lying?
see.
Oh man, she's
Your middle phoenix is under attack.
My
You have
vigil
slain an enemy.
has ended.
Oh, I'm dead. She got lucky.
Your middle
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely crazy. Let me look and see what you were typing here, Project Zero. Hold on. What is that? Oh, the stream captain. That's what you sent me. Gotcha. Okay.
Smack your mouth.
But when people join your game, do they have to keep rejoining or they're always there? I don't remember. All right. Well, let's get this win, man. I'm coming back in. You ready?
people trying to find buff, but I guess it's already gone.
Oh, I think I'm gonna take the gaming glasses off because it's like my headphones are like crushing my ears.
I need to find me.
Oh, it's a new true placement every battle. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So it means I'll need like.
An enemy has been slain.
What a bully.
You have slain an enemy.
Guard. I
Joe, too. You are the Cupid. You're the DPS.
Yeah, I have to pay back, but when you got something that just like jumps out of midair and just lands on top of your head.
They're blue real fast. No, it's gone. Oh, careful, they're coming behind you.
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Ooh-wee.
Thor's only level 12 and he just like destroys you with one hit.
Well, he's an assassin. He can 1v1 you, no problem. You can too, as long as you hit all your attacks. But he's melee, so he's gonna be a little.
Your middle phoenix
He's
is under
taking
attack. Burning fires of multiple killing spree.
has ended.
Oh boy.
The dude with Thor is pretty OP though.
Well, he's always been kind of. He's always been kind of strong.
Even under level, he's still strong.
That is true. Yeah, you can level up your units on that thing, and then but that's about it. I'll have to join a big streamer channel in order to like. But well, I don't know. I'll have to look at it.
You have slain an enemy.
You mainly did a lot of that too, but you got the assist.
Yeah. Yeah, because I hit him with that first attack. But you caught him with the freeze that we tried that a lot.
An ally has been
Wow.
slain.
Be careful. Be careful.
Double kill.
There we go. That's the way to do it.
Fail.
Deicide.
I played smart here. Yeah, we're almost weakening their. There we go.
Good day.
We did it.
Good game.
We did it. We are the winners.
Even though I sucked.
Ah, you did good, bro.
I died most. Of course, I got a softie too. I got my character's the weakest.
Yeah.
Like the weakest one of the whole game, I think.
Give me 1 second because I'm going to.
Okay, I get 3 times battle points booster. Nice. I unlocked 8 things.
Hold on, let me exit out of here real quick because I'm gonna log back in. Okay. Yeah, stream readers. I don't know where that is. I had the EXE. I remember. Let me see. Stream.
You have to, don't you have to just go to the website?
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of browser-based type deals. I'm not trying to capture my web browser, so I wanna. I did download
Oh,
the
yeah,
game
they
instead,
do have, like,
and of course there's an update. Yeah, let's do one. Let's do one. Well, before we start a round, we'll do a
Stream Captain. Login. Please don't make me have to do all this junk.
Oh yeah, this game remembers my settings.
Oh, we get an exclusive skin for followers? Cool.
Okay, let me see. Whenever this game decides to launch. Hold on. Okay. Uh,
Oh, really?
the heck happened? Okay. All right, guys. So here it is. We have Stream Raiders. I don't even know what level I'm on right now. Keep playing. Get a new map. You have 1 retry token. I don't know. I forgot what I do here. Campaign versus no army skins. We just do campaign. We do a new map, right? All right. So I believe this one was done. Is that what it was? I'm still in the beginning. We still got a long way to go before we take this any further, really. What was this one? It doesn't even tell you like the levels. So do I just clear these? Huh.
Watch on Twitch.
Skull equals level, right? How do I know? All right, guys. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna need your guys' help for sure. Then. So, what's this? For the first one, we'll do the first one. Drag a captain unit to the battlefield. I guess I'll go. Oh, these are the bad guys. So, oh, this is our little area right here, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'll go tank. Right. Right. Is that what I'm doing? How do you guys do this? How do I do this? I forgot how to do this. Don't I like invite you guys or something? Eraser. Show player names. Oh, God, what was it? What was it? What was it? Oh, how do I get you guys to join again? I forgot. Once you guys just join through the stream. Oh, never mind. It just shows it right there. Never mind.
Yeah, let's see, come on. Why is it not letting me join?
But at least I gave you guys the link, so I just leave this open and just minimize it or something, or
Yeah, you can just minimize that. Yeah.
yeah, gotcha. Okay, yep, I see it. Project Zero's in. Okay, cool. So that's what we'll do. I'll just switch it back and forth. Wow. Let's get you guys in here.
Finally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a
man.
lot higher level characters because I've been playing with somebody else, so I got
Hey,
some.
nothing wrong with that. Get those high levels in here. I need them. I'm low level.
Put that dude out there.
Yeah.
We gotta make sure every 5 minutes, so I have to put some characters in. So
Right, right. Let me do this real quick. Let me I could probably just capture this with these. With this. I don't really need to capture the whole thing, so I think what I'll do is let's see here. I'll do
wow, it just made like all your characters like stretch out wider.
oh, I did?
It looks like it did, kind of.
Oh yeah, 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 for a second, right. Okay, let's do that for now. It looks weird small. What the heck?
It does, yeah.
You know what though? I'll pop it up.
Yeah, 30 minutes by the time this match is over with, it'll be ready.
Right, right. But I think when I'm in, or is it? It's not moving. It's weird. I don't know. Why is it not moving though? Um, it's a Smite ad, right? I would just, well, it is actually the size of the Smite ad. I think that's original size right there. I don't know if that's gonna cover the map or not, and it doesn't show the characters moving. I don't get it.
Not yet until the 30 minutes are up.
Yeah, but on my screen the characters are moving, and now it's black. What the?
What?
Oh, it doesn't want to capture this way. A big bummer. Mind. Yeah, well. I'll just bring it up in 30 minutes. That's all. I'll just forget it. Do the easy way.
Okay, so
Yeah, well, I noticed that the characters weren't moving, like they were like solid still, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just if it becomes a thing, I will definitely make a scene just for it, you know, when we switch. Oh, I gotta reinvite you. Hold on. My bad.
okay, so which one's better, the line or the ruler for the targeting?
I have well now let me see. You probably want to do. If I can get under. For targeting, I do line.
Okay, because I was on the ruler and it was
No,
yeah.
ruler. No. Do line. Yeah. If you want it to be like mine here, I got you. Let's go to settings. For targeting, you want to do line for the first one, right? For reticule, use the X. Ground target, keep it on standard.
Okay, this is high contrast.
And the bottom two is off.
Okay. I think I had that online before on my other one, on the Steam version, but of course it's all changed, so.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a good idea. What I think I can do is like maybe make an overlay, right? Where it's like like a box would be like for the mini game when it's time to play, and then I'll have a obviously a bigger box of the gameplay. And then that way they'll both be up, but it'll look organized. You know, instead of me just kind of just throwing a game up there in front of the other game in front of the other game, which I don't know. I have to get something. Maybe play around with Photoshop a little bit. I thought I saw Kelso get on. I know he got on. He's trying to sneak. Is he on Discord? No, he's not. Oh, maybe he got off for tonight. I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Well, you ready? We'll do Joust. Joust is my favorite mode. Unless you got a preference, we can go with something else.
That's fine.
I want strawberry milk. I don't know why I'm craving strawberry milk. Nestle strawberry milk.
When I'm usually playing like by myself on this one, I just play Arena.
Arena. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of Arena. I used to like Arena. But I don't know.
I'm usually between Arena and Joust. That's what I usually play.
Yeah.
Playing with the randoms and
Oh, I know. I like Joust because of the tower, and then yeah, randoms. At least you're only with two randoms. Conquest.
yeah, I don't
I
like.
like Conquest, but you gotta have a team that kind of knows what they're doing.
Yeah,
And it's weird because I got people I used to play with, and to this day they still don't do Conquest, and it's weird because that's the you know League of Legends type of deal, the whole 3 lane, you know.
I never did like that because
Oh, I think Kelso's having password problems too.
playing with like a lane. If I picked a lane or something, I was told to go this lane, and then I get the whole team, the enemy team comes in there and just wipes me out.
Oh, Kelso's here. Project Zero's here. Wait, you guys can play some more than one unit? What the heck?
Yeah, we can place as many as you can for the 30 minutes. Every 5 minutes, we get to place another character.
So, how do I announce, like... How do I announce this, like...
That you're playing it.
Oh. Try to do exclamation mark battle in chat real quick for me, Kels, or Jay. See if I let you do it.
Nope.
Even when I do it. Makes no sense. Am I missing something here?
Is that command?
Well, the battle's ready in 19 minutes, which will pretty much be after this round. Works in every other chat. Yeah, that's weird. Is that just a way to get into the game? Maybe is it, that might be what it is. Testing. Hold on. Let me see. I'll probably have to go back to the website and like probably look at what is the stream raiders, right? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Let me look. I probably have to set up like commands. Did you oh, you got in, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Let's log in real quick. Oh, free skin. Sweet. Thanks. I'll take that. Want me to do all this? That's a lot of work. All right, so
Yeah, I know.
back out real quick. Let's see. Streamer tools. See what I got to do here. All right. I downloaded the client, put the game in window. No OBS. I did window mode. It didn't work. Put the countdown overlay in your main game scene. Blah 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 blah. That's the URL. Do I have that? I thought. Wait. Yeah, I don't have to do that. Okay. Enable chatbot for notifications. It's on. Start a battle and invite your viewers to join. Make sure you're playing as a captain. Go to battle and choose a battle. Tell your viewers to join on streamcaptain.com. They log in with Twitch. Select you as their captain. Place a unit. It doesn't say anything about battle. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Bot commands. Nightbot, stream elements. Oh, okay, I see what they did. Streamlabs. None of this for TrickSpot. Well, I can make TrickSpot do this, so let's see. Max Taco, thank you. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna have to figure out which one, because TrickSpot's language is a little different than these guys. So really all I needed to do is to capture the API, get the game command, and then it's gonna give me blah blah blah. I'll figure out which one. I'm gonna mess with this later. For now, let's get the game going. Wait, I chose Joust, right? Yeah, Joust. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess with it, because that's weird. I can do it while we're waiting on just to load up anyway. Yeah.
So it's gonna take a little bit.
We got 15 seconds. Bum 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 bum. I mean, if not, I can just set up with Stream Elements grid. Why do I want to set it up with TrickSpot? Make my life so much complicated, right?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
That
me?
would be so much easier.
I'll be right there too. I don't have to worry about it.
It's already in your channel anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right here. Stream Elements. Okay. I'll just log into Stream Elements. All right, so we're still loading in.
Match accepted. Okay, so we got a Botkus.
Okay, we got a Guardian. What do you want to do?
Okay, I'm gonna do Medusa.
Okay.
With their fancy gold skin.
Yeah. Oh, the heck do I make a command here?
I'm gonna do a battle points booster too.
Oh, here we go. Add a new command. Okay. Take this one.
He can't tell my voice? What the heck?
I'm gonna have to go mage.
Tick tock.
Oh, you got the beer keg, dude. Cool.
Command battle already exists?
Got a Santa Claus outfit? Wow.
Okay, the command's attack. Try attack real quick in chat, see if that works.
Yep, that works.
It did work?
Yep, that one actually worked.
Okay, cool.
That is a big corn dog that guy's got.
That don't really sound right. I don't think you want to talk about big corn dogs.
That was huge.
Yeah, that's my thing. I
No.
have all of my stuff from Xbox.
Okay.
All I did was log into my high-res account and I linked my Xbox.
Wow.
No. Yeah, progression on here does. Yeah. No, on here it's fine.
So, what were you speaking of? Like,
No, Dead by Daylight, I don't have my progression.
okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm going through my skins, I'm seeing all these chests, I'm like, he still has that issue?
Your middle tower is under
Why do I feel like I'm getting, like, my image is weird?
Some will tell you.
Smite, man, I feel like that every time I step into Smite.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with it? Like, my game is at 140 FPS, but it don't feel like it. What?
It always feels weird to me, whether it be on console or PC. Maybe you're just not used to it?
Oh, no, it just feels like... Doesn't feel right. No, it feels jaggedy.
Oh, you did change a few things, didn't you?
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense if I'm getting above 100 and like it drops to like 130 sometimes, but it's still
your middle tower is under
Input lag.
no, it might be, but it feels like when I turn the camera, it feels ugh.
You're just used to Modern Warfare.
No, hold on, let me see something here. Settings, something ain't right.
Oh, that skin is beautiful.
Let me turn VSync on, maybe. I don't know.
Dude, Agni's Infinite Duality skin is so beautiful.
Let me take you to another dimension.
I don't know, man. This doesn't feel right. Why does it feel like this? Is it because I got two games open? Think about that. Oh, that PS dropped to 30. What the heck? So I've been playing 30 this whole time? Yeah, that's what the problem is.
your middle tower is under attack. First blood.
Oh, this is bad. And we're in the middle of a game, so I can't like 30 FPS. Oh no, because I V-synced it. That's why. Hold on. Turn V-sync off.
You broke your game.
Why would it go from... Okay, PS gone back up again, but it just... Don't feel right. Something...
I need help.
I'm just gonna close streamer just for now. Oh, that's not it. The heck is it? Wow, it's so weird.
You have things that heal me?
No, I don't have anything to heal you.
I didn't buy no potions either. I screwed up.
Wait, so you can't pre-select your skins before you enter into a game?
What's that?
You can't pre-select what skins you want to load.
No, just well, yeah, you can. Like whatever skin you used last time with that character, it remembers.
Just not like pre-game.
Yeah, you don't like customize or anything. Something's not right here, man. Full frames, but I'm just like it just has like that. You know when you turn the camera, it doesn't feel like nowhere near what it's claiming it is.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I'm dead. Can't like what the heck is going on here? Does not make sense. Why?
What? What also doesn't make sense is this game says I have 4 skins. Then again, it tells me I have to unlock each one of them. So I'm sitting here like, which ones do I have unlocked then? Since it doesn't show it.
Yeah.
Nothing has ever stopped me.
This is kind of annoying. I don't know why. I don't like it. Like it just looks bad. Oh my god, these people are lucky that I'm like trying to mess with my settings so much. I'm just gonna wait. Wow. Wow.
Your middle phoenix is under attack. Shut down.
Oh, that's what he gets for being thirsty. Yeah, man, it's just disgusting. Like I can't play like this at all. Unacceptable. I don't know why it's doing this. Let me go now. I wonder if it's a window borderless. Like I don't know. It looks better on stream than it does my side. What the heck? I think it's like prioritizing the thing to OBS.
There's a feedback for you.
Man.
Making this shit look good.
Right. I'm gonna work on it. I'll probably have to test it like during a custom match after this one. Did you get your password reset, Kelso?
Yeah, I got all that fixed.
Sorry.
I'm level 35 and I still got a 14-day booster.
I don't know what's called. There's got to be an answer for this. This does not make any sense. I wonder if it's because OBS is on that screen. Let's see.
Man, that birthday boy is...
Wow, OBS runs great now. I mean, the game runs fine. I know what the problem is. Remember how I made my third monitor 30 hertz? That's my problem. Game runs phenomenal. Now it... You know what? Then I'll just start running OBS on this screen. Screw it. That was weird, man. Now it's fine. What? See, little things like that.
Time heals all wounds.
Man, my stomach is growling. Now it feels like a Smite game to me. Holy mackerel! Now,
Crystal Battle is ready. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
so I was pretty much playing the game at 30 FPS. That is nasty. I can't do 30. Not like this.
Xbox 360 moment.
Yeah, right. Bro, that's so old school, bro.
I mean, period.
dimension.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Where's the sun?
An ally has
Wow.
been slain.
Won't live to fight another day.
Almost frozen too.
Whoa!
You're clear.
And we got no Phoenix, really? Wow, I didn't know we were doing that bad. But it don't matter. I don't care about this game.
Should I turn D3, D11 on or off since I'm running a DirectX 12 card?
It doesn't matter. It's personal preference. The game started at 9 and then it runs up to 11 if you want. Yeah. Wow, so it mattered that much. That is crazy how that made a big difference. And we lost this game. Apollo can just come in and ultimate our thing anyway. Yeah, we'll just quit that one.
Yeah. That random guy, he was doing nothing too.
Oh my god, I like what Project Zero said, though. I happen to enjoy the road trip streams, but you can't spoil yourself too much with it or your PC will be jelly. That might explain what happened. Oh, that was a good one. Okay, alright. I'm about to say, like, I don't know. That's so weird. So that means in this case, I need to start putting things on this screen. I wonder if that's been my problem all along. Like, maybe even with Modern Warfare will run better now. Wow. So I'll put TrickSpot over here because why not? Discord? I guess I'll keep Discord here.
Yeah, announcer pack. I want to check that one out. That's cool. Let's check that out.
Hmm?
I just unlocked a Punk Duck announcer pack.
Oh.
So is it going to sound like a duck now?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna put my monitors over here. But yeah, I did my first graphics card. I was very proud of myself. Never took one apart.
Yeah, I was going to do mine, but I
Just
can't
make sure.
remember.
I had to actually go to the store and buy like a kit because I didn't have anything.
I
Sadly.
had some thermal paste from when I installed my CPU, but I can't find it.
No. Yeah, I found mine. Luckily, I had some thermal paste and I had some. The only thing is, the GPU was a little different when I opened it up. The back plate wasn't like solid. It had like I don't know. It was like 3 rows of copper, and then it was like I don't know. I never saw something like that. I didn't know what to do. I was stuck.
Yeah, when I get this stimulus check, though, I'm gonna have for sure a 2060.
Don't say that too loud, man. They might not give it to you now. They probably watch it right now.
Probably.
Like, oh, Jim, oh, we know what he's doing with his stimulus. He's not using it to, you know.
I'm helping I'm helping some company out.
Right.
Whoever's lucky enough to get the money.
Wow. So the whole time I should have had OBS on this screen. That's crazy how that makes a big difference.
Oh, you even Punk Duck announcer thing too.
Huh?
You got the duck one too, that Punk Duck. So the announcer pack is. I just had a different announcer pack. That sounded weird.
Oh, Discord. I gotta get Discord open. Duh. Now you know when you get so used to something, now I gotta like readjust. I gotta relearn everything again. Oh, it actually runs good this way too, man. I like it. Runs much better. It's not. I don't think I'm lagging or anything.
This is over, so the battle is ready.
It's crazy. Yo, what's up, Neil? How are you, bro? Let's get back out again, guys. Don't forget, guys, we do got the queues open. Just make sure you guys do VIP join. We'll get you guys in. All right, Kelso, how you looking, bro? Are you all set?
We could start a battle too, by the way.
Oh, Oh shoot, you were absolutely right because I turned it off. So give me a second. This time I'll leave it on because now I know that wasn't the issue. Dum 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 dum. I wonder now if it works with this. Hold on, give me a second.
"18 units replaced." The battle at
What?
Oh,
Right.
okay, you gotta go back to view battlefield, that's why.
You ready for this battle tricks?
I think so.
All right, man.
You just gotta click on view battlefield
Yeah.
so you can actually see what's going on. See if
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to. It's still showing that frozen image. Like, what the heck? I'm just gonna have to do it this way. I'm gonna have to make another specific scene for it. Well, you know what? Here, let me do that real quick. All right, so I guess I have to do game capture. It doesn't want to work with the window capture, so this one will be window capture, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Brackets. Stream raid. There you go. Gotta keep everything in order here. Don't want to capture cursor. There we go.
There's 7 toothbrushes for 7 days a week. Is
What?
toothbrush?
Yeah, right.
All right, then you can display it full screen.
Yeah.
So tiny.
my units are all protecting you.
Right? You guys' units are looking good. Wow, who's all those? Look at Project Zero, look at Jim, and I'm the only one with one. I got one troop.
Characters are like right next to you.
You guys are real. You got.
Protect you.
I got my level 2 freaking tanks up there, and I got my archer back there. We could have used some archers in the back.
Yeah, why? I'm a tank, but I'm so low level. Can I switch my character?
I mean, you could have
Nope.
placed 5 characters.
Really?
Yeah, during that 30-minute period, you can put up to 5 every like 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, battle is ready. Oh, I gotta do it. Okay, yeah. I thought it only let me do one.
No, Jim told you. You were just spacing.
I like that. Now stream captain's working. Okay, cool. All right, so we're good to go. All right. Oh yeah, I see. Neil saw it. Yeah, so I can only place one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe because I literally.
Usually you have a buff. So click on hover your character real quick,
Okay.
and you'll have a large area buff usually. Oh, you have a tiny area buff. Oh, that's fucking adorable. Oh man.
All right, well, let's get the battle on. Well, how come there's no sound? Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's going.
Just get large.
And the battle has commenced.
Get wrecked, son. Get wrecked. Oh, big old Shrek's coming in with his level 1 sword.
Here we go, guys. Here we goes. Woo! We are the winners.
Alright, open it and split the rewards.
Woo. All right. Did you guys get anything good?
Don't know yet. You gotta assign it
You
to us
gotta
sometimes.
open the chest first.
Oh. Okay. I got it open. Shows the captain rewards, go distribution, item rewards, and then only viewers are eligible for random rewards. Oh, okay.
Pick one random viewer.
No, who's gonna get it?
Project Zero.
How do we know who got it?
Because it says just below. You assigned it to Project Zero. Because he was number 1.
Oh,
He killed.
I was in last
but it
place.
doesn't say like in the chat.
That's what I get for helping tricks out. I'm standing behind somebody. One assist.
Right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna put my character somewhere else next time.
I put mine up front, but I was a tank, so eventually they just stopped. But
So what's question marks? Is that scary?
I don't know, man.
Well, you know what? No, we don't know until we try it. Ooh, it's an unknown chest, unknown everything. Oh god. Well, it's the beginning, so it can't be that bad.
It can't
Watch it
be
be-
with such a small channel.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well.
Just one chest. And
Huh.
two of those.
2 guys, 1 chest. What?
Hey, that's a story for another day. Hey, see, look at that giant little buff area you got right there. Man, oh no, it's the archer's range. Never mind.
Yeah, it's Archer. Yeah.
Oh, let's open up my bronze chest. I got 3 gold from the streamer split. I got 4 potions, and my chest rewards were 5 tokens, 7 tokens, and ooh, a warrior scroll. Sweet. Let's place a unit. Damn, Neo. You're a scary looking character. What are these? These are, sentries. Got some archers. Dang, Neo Toxin with your level 10 showing off.
Right.
Jeez. Somebody's been playing for a while.
Either someone coined the hell out of some scrolls, or they have been playing for a while, that's for sure.
Right. Right. Well, let me
Alright, so what did I have open here? Close that. You know, the good part about having a really bad PC, or a really old PC, Jim, is that when you get a new PC, you still can't help but close things out. So you're just even more efficient on your good computer.
Yeah.
Like, I find myself doing that all the time. It's like, nope, that must be condensed, that must be condensed.
Yeah, that's what sucks right now is, man, I just want these parts now.
Just don't cheap out on your GPU, man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm going for the 2060.
That's insane.
I was between the 5600 XT and the 2060, but
There wasn't enough gains for me over the 2060 for my 1660 Super, so I was like, eh. If I was gonna go anything from the 1660 Super, of course it would be the 2080.
yeah, the 1660 Super looked pretty cool too. I was thinking about that one, and I was looking at the 2060 performance compared to that. I was like, man, the 2060 is so much more powerful for the price.
Yeah, but look at the price.
Yeah, Kelso, I don't think I have you.
Maybe not on PC, but my Xbox is linked. Let's see.
Right. What's your or what is it? Just Kelso.
1987. Yep.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, it's weird because I think you have to like, even though there are like, I don't know, it's like the PC part's weird. Did you get it?
Yep.
All right.
I'm only level 24. Wow.
Isn't that adorable?
The heck was that? I heard a horn. What you guys do?
Hold on.
I don't know. Man, I can't believe my game was lagging so bad, man. It was driving me crazy.
Oh, just a refresh rate.
All just because I had OBS on this screen, it caused a big problem. See, this is why they say all your monitors gotta match refresh rate.
Windows has an update?
It does? I hear you twice. You gotta mute yourself in game.
Did I?
Oh,
I
it's
think I
impossible
turned the
now.
voice chat off, so
Oh God. That's a nice card.
I'm back on.
Yours is just. Wait, who?
Ooh, I'm hearing echo too.
Oh, Kiki remembers, guys. Kiki definitely remembers all this.
Second.
Hmm. All right, what do you guys want to go with? I'll go with whatever. Whatever you guys feel comfortable with.
I'm sticking with like Hunter. I think
Hunter, okay.
All right, how's that? Better or worse?
much better.
Sweet.
That's what we started when we started playing.
Oh yeah. Hunters are good for starters. Maids are good too, but they're kind of really squishy. Most people go tank or warrior or hunter. Those are like the three.
Playing Joust.
Yeah, you don't like joust?
No, I was buying on the other.
Oh, okay.
I was picking.
Wait, are you bidding on this now?
How do I change?
I have no clue.
Wait, was it banning?
Yeah, we're playing Smite right now, guys.
I thought I was selecting. I feel bad.
No, you're good. You got hunter. You got mage. Well, you didn't lock in, so whatever you want. But we gotta hurry up. We got 20 seconds.
I don't know how to back out, and I'm not picking another one. That one's yours. I think we're in selection. Yeah, it's God selection, isn't it?
No, you see how Jim's card like slide inward? Me and you are still choosing because we got the. Okay, well we gotta choose now anyway.
Mine doesn't. Trying to find that box.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, for a while there, I thought we were banning too.
Right. Yeah, how's everything been going though? Thank you so much for coming in. I hope you having everybody's being safe. That's one of the main things right now. Yeah. One thing I love about Smite, it's so easy to hit high frames. I mean, the game was what, 2014?
I think it's at 13.
No.
I'm just getting high frames when I have my 720. My GT.
And I love how my OBS is using less percent right now. I'm only using 2.5% of GPU or like CPU. But when it was on the other screen, forget it.
Oh, dude, trying to remember these controls. Jeez.
Oh, well, you're on Xbox, right?
No, I'm on my PC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the PC version doesn't do too well with the controller. I don't know if that's what you want to do.
You said it doesn't do too well with what?
It doesn't do too well with the controller. You can, but like you won't be able to access your inventory. Like it's partial controller support. Like movement works, abilities work, but not like inventory and a few other things. Yeah. This game is on Xbox and it's also available on the.
How items.
Yeah. How's the game look for you guys? Does it look good? Does it look perfect? Where are we going? Oh, we're on the other lane. I'm in the wrong area. Well, let's get this for, we'll get this for... One of you guys can grab that. Probably Medusa. Or that. That's okay. Blue, we would have got for Agni.
Why did you get that? And then he was like, Medusa.
Let's get this one.
Alright, Medusa's just standing there.
That's all yours, Jim.
Your middle tower.
Oh no, they're in our lane. No! Oh, careful. Oh, really? Oh, that hurt. Oh man, we're up against a Poseidon. Oh god.
Doesn't like fried fish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
No!
Jump.
No! Careful, they're coming.
Ow, I'm blind.
Yeah, they went after me when it was.
I couldn't see nothing. Went the wrong way.
You're good. Yeah, I remember I used to play the heck out of this game on the Xbox, and I got used to the controller for quite a while. And then eventually I just said, you know what, screw that. Just got back to PC again. Playing hunters and mages on the mouse and keyboard is so much better. And why is the audio so low again? Main volume is down.
Oh no. Ooh. I got the tail end.
Oh, run!
And this Kachi just gets smacked.
You just got him out of nowhere.
Hmm. Careful, careful, careful. Oh God!
Your middle tower is under attack.
Which is
Wow. Damn, man. Yeah, they're trying to take me out. Okay.
alright, it says I can't do it.
All right, lazy translation doesn't make too much sense. I do think Smite is on console, but the PC only has partial controller support. Yeah, just like Kinky said, you would think by now they have full controller support on this game. I just think they not to be mean, but I think high res just kind of backed off a bit on the PC portion, even though that's where it all originally started.
I have the money. Why can't I buy that?
Oh, make sure you gotta buy the first tier of each item first if you...
Yeah, I got like 3,040 and I'm trying to buy boots because I can only have one relic.
Could be. Oh, relics? Yeah, relics you can't buy. You can only buy one at a time. One. I don't know why they start you with that second relic now. That's weird. I never. They start everybody with a war. Like, that's so... I don't get it. Oh, need help, guys. No, don't leave me for dead.
Oh, my fault, man.
An ally has been slain.
Battling the shot.
Your middle tower killing spree.
My God. All right, yeah, they're.
Your middle tower has been destroyed.
Oh no.
An enemy has been slain.
So I got 23 minutes, guys. 23 minutes for that next one. What we got there? What we got there?
What did I get slayed with? What? I didn't see anything. I don't know what happened.
Dum, dum,
So
dum.
confused.
I suppose it is rather.
Did minions just kill you?
I have no clue.
Oh no, what happened? Careful, don't push too much. Careful, Medusa, they're coming.
There we go. Out.
Back off, back off, back off.
Retreat!
Yeah, they're just, they see your guys' level, you're kind of down, be careful.
Ow.
An ally has been slain.
Nope, 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 nope. Oh yeah, they're handpicking you guys. Okay. Two of you guys, we got this.
They're really trying to go after you. They're just taking us out first.
Yeah, you better run. Go chicken wuss. Come on! Bring a burrito next time, cause I'm hungry. I'm gonna pull back.
You talking about food? I think we'll find food.
They focus a lot of energy on paladins. Yeah, I believe it. And the PC players were even mad at most of the pros just kind of went to Xbox because they signed over with Mixer, and I think that's what happened. They just became more of a console focused. But the crossplay is nice though. At least you get that option. We're gonna go ahead and get blue. Any one of you guys with me or both, no matter. This is for Kelso. Or whoever's the mage. Oh, there you go. Take that. Oh, Agni. Thanatos is coming for you. Alright, careful, Jim. Alright. Ooh. Yeah, they're just poking, don't worry about it. Nah, they're high leveled.
Ow. That thing hurts.
Yeah, it does. That's his ultimate.
I can't even get closer to use my ultimate.
I want to get him so bad, I can't. He's so low leveled. How dare you try to steal our stuff? Wow.
Your middle phoenix is under attack.
I'm out. I gotta pull back. Careful.
Oh, so close, man.
Yeah, don't go for it. They're just baiting. It was a close one though.
I suppose it is rather.
Okay, I'm just glad everything was working. There you go. Get him, guys. Get him. Oh, he's so fast. He ran away. Don't worry about it. Careful. He's coming in.
Yeah, he's gonna give me my way. No.
I stopped it for you. Just run.
Just run.
No, don't fight. Just if you.
Behind you.
Dang it, man. Yeah, you don't have any. You don't have any life steal right now. We'll just.
That's why I have to keep.
I can't do much because I'm a tank. It's up to you guys. You guys gotta do the damage. Maybe our.
Your middle phoenix is under attack.
They'll have the early game on us. I mean, we can come back. We just have to play a little defense.
Yeah, I'm still trying to remember all the
You're good. I'm pulling them in. Follow me, guys. Get them. Get them. Get him. Get him. Wow.
Shut down.
All right, there we go. Let's get this camp. Okay, let's. They're gonna be pushing our mid here. Let's. Alright, let's go for blue. They're gonna be respawning back in anyway. This is Agnes. There we go. All right, just let's pull back. Medusa, I'm gonna grab the speed for you. Agni, what's Agni doing? Agni! Oh, he's gone. All right, Jim, we gotta don't. I'll come over there with you real quick. Let's grab that real quick. And then we gotta defend. I don't have much.
Yeah, they're coming.
Oh no, Kelso left. No. And they know he left too, so that's gonna put us at a big disadvantage there. Careful. Oh, nice. That was close. That was close.
Dang it.
No way. And they just grabbed the man. Nah, let's not be thirsty because it's a 2v3 right now. Oh, Windows Update restarted kill. So ouch. Yeah, I don't touch those. I don't like that forced restart crap. That's yeah.
Oh yeah, I hate that. I have mine set up where.
Well, we can still defend. Let's just play super defensive right now.
Okay. Yeah, I have mine set up. Every time I have an update, I push it back as far as I can.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Here you are. You're okay?
Yep.
Yeah, my PC boots up Windows in less than in less than like
An ally has
10 seconds. So
Oh, you're good. Dang, you returned that quick. Holy crap. That's that. What is that? The M2?
yeah,
Dear gosh. Savage mode. Get him.
settings. I'm already in game too. I just don't know how to get to settings. Anybody know the key binding for that? Anybody know what settings is?
Oh, Kelso, I mean, Jim, you left me for dead.
I'm coming.
Oh.
Yeah, can you imagine? Like, that's how quickly it took for me to get back in game.
Right.
That's pretty quick, right?
No, that was actually great. I've seen people that, well, it's definitely quicker than restarting a router.
Not even
Ally
death.
has been slain.
From me.
Fire. My fighters. Your Titan's under attack.
All right, we got this. Nice and easy. All right, so Kelso needs level up very bad. He's only level 8 right now. He's very behind.
Your Titan's under attack.
Let's take these minions out of here because they're going to attack our Titan.
Killing spree.
Oh, wow. Freaking water, man.
Oh my god, Jim. I'm about to die. I'm out. Oh god.
Your Titan's under attack.
They won this one. We'll try to get the next one.
I mean, this is my first match. It's been like 6 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have enough. We're not pulling enough DPS on them. They won.
I tried to do my ultimate, and yeah,
Yeah.
they kill me before I got my ultimate plate.
Yeah, I don't know. So how'd you guys do with those roles? Did you guys feel like you did good?
No, I don't feel like I did good.
Well, you had a DC though, so yeah. Jim, you done Hunter lately, right? Have you done okay with that?
Good.
I mean, Hunters are good because you can do damage and criticals, but the only problem with them is like if you don't know how to evade or you have to kind of just sit back. But like a Hunter should always be with the tank. So like when I go in, I'm like the damage like taker, and then you do the damage.
Okay.
It's okay. We're all rusty here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, they give you battle boosters now.
How am I navigating this shop again? Wow, this
Yeah,
shop's...
it's all new.
Really?
Yeah, it's all different. It's
This shop felt outdated, like the idea or something. Like, I've played some high-res games. I just felt like it was a little from the past.
right. Well, it's updated according to Smite standards. You know, people were complaining saying they made it look like League of Legends now. Yeah.
They did not make it look like it. It always looked like League of Legends shop.
Right.
I need to get back in your stream. I didn't place anything for the battle.
No.
No, I might have placed like one, but yeah, my whole system can restart within 10 seconds.
Ooh, well, that's actually really good. All right, guys.
Is the battle ready or what?
Yeah, it tells me I can start early now. I don't have to worry about like start early tokens or anything. I can always start early.
Yeah, let me get in there first.
Okay. That's good. Because I was wondering about that.
This music in game though, wow. I gotta turn it completely off or turn it down.
Yeah, I had it off for a while.
This battle.
It's attack. Yeah, I couldn't do battle because Stream Elements already had a battle one. That's why. I mean, I could have probably removed it, but did something quick.
Did I spell attack too proper? Okay, cool.
There it goes.
All right, guys, here we go. One.
ATAK.
ATT.
Whoops.
Wow, that was a massacre.
Wow, that was quick.
What, did you start it? I didn't even get to enter.
For real? What? You mean you could join Smite back so fast, but not the stream?
No, I was in the stream. I was loading up a stream captain.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you guys see it on there too, right? Now, this is also a browser game, so that's cool for like mobile users. Yeah.
Oh man, you did the battle. You didn't even let me get back in to just.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was 6 of us, so that was perfect.
Oh, he gets again? What the heck? Really?
Uh,
It's rigged.
He's doing
rigged.
the most. That's why.
It's so rigged.
It is wrecked in that way.
Well, let's.
Okay, and some coins.
Ooh, that's quite a bit of people.
Place a unit. Yeah.
Oh, I got a healer. Nice.
Yeah. You got a healer.
Why does my archer look like South Park? I don't know. Like it looks like somebody from South Park.
Front lines, we got warriors, so we're gonna need tanks and archers on this one.
Uh-oh.
And you got a whole slew of archers in the back. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a lot of them. Yeah. Who is this in the? Oh, that's one of you guys. Oh boy, we'll have to keep that one up because.
Why are you so far back, Trix?
Wait, can I move him?
You could have when you placed them.
Oh. Well, I didn't know where you guys were placing. I don't know.
During battles like this, I would station them near the walls, because I mean, if you got archers, you'd station them by the walls.
Yeah, no, I see. Like there was a spot there for an archer, which would have been. Oh, server shut down in 90 minutes. Are you serious? Ah,
High res knew you came back.
man.
All right, I mean,
Well, 90 minutes. That's not too bad. It's an hour and a half, and that'll be what?
I mean,
It's 5:30 in the morning.
maintenance during COVID.
Why is time going so fast lately? I never have time for anything. I swear, as soon as I get on, it's time to get off.
It's because you're having fun.
Jeez.
It's been a while since you had some fun, Trix.
Oh man. Oh god. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's 5 of us. Last time we had 6. So who are we missing?
One of your bots.
No.
Dude, if you could get your bots to implement on that.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Hmm.
We'll have a level 20 out of nowhere.
Yeah, that is interesting, dog. That is interesting. Let me see. Hold on.
He's like, ooh, I think I might want to try that. Yeah. Oh, I need to join you? Where did I go for that? Play again.
it should work because.
It just shows me. Because remember, I had to rejoin?
Oh yeah, you have to get reinvited.
Yeah.
Oh.
You invite me, Trixie Poo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Trix's pet name, Trixie Poo.
Yeah.
No homo. But I mean, if you are, then fine, that's okay. You know, I have nothing against that. I live in a gay neighborhood. I'm perfectly fine with it. I make lots of money.
Oh, okay.
Ah. So yeah, COVID-19 all up in Gotham right now, you know?
Yeah.
New York.
All right, got Trickspot in there with us, guys. That's great. All right.
Ah, janky. Janky. Can you make an auto assign?
I mean, I technically could. Like I said, like a timer, but I don't know if he'll like place a unit though.
Dude, place all 50 of your bots in there.
Hmm.
Massacre.
I mean, technically this.
Start early. Massacre. Start early.
All right, hold on. We're missing Kelso. Where'd you go?
Yeah, you gotta invite me, bruh.
Well, let me add party. Oh, friends.
Call me in.
Wait, you're not even online.
Yes, I am. I'm right here. I can play again right now. I'm sort of. Give me 15 seconds till next queue. What?
I don't see you.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it's it's back to 57 seconds. What the flipper?
Hold on. Are you in a queue?
Technically, but not. I'm by myself.
Yeah. Well, because you're not in our party.
Alright, so I'm just gonna close the game and say it's Smite being retarded.
Yeah, I don't even see you on here. What the heck?
Alright, so time this. This is me loading up Smite.
Yeah, it shows me you're offline. Oh, you know, I think our party system broke. Hold on, let me disband a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Jim. That's you, Kels. I think you have to relog.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, or that, or I don't know. All right. So what?
What? Thanks for returning back to Smite. Here's your Medusa rental. Here's your Black Gorgon.
You what? Your Medusa rental? That's very cool.
Here's some more boosters. Another Gorgon 14 day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I didn't have to do nothing.
Not bad.
All right, you can pull me in now if you won't. If you won't. Oh wait, I can find you. Yes. Accept. Psh. Ooh, I got an achievement. 50 points. I like you, bronze.
Mm-mm.
I like tricks.
Yeah.
Wait, I accepted nothing. Why?
There you go. Now it shows you on. All right. Oh, 5 seconds. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. All right. So far, we got 7. We got 7 people right now. Mm.
Oh, do I need to change that?
Do I have the link? I'm gonna post this on social media. Actually.
Sweet.
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh man, we got to be the black guy with me. Man.
Yeah.
System was not able to find a match for you this round. You are the highest
Eh.
priority for the next round. Oh, dude, why not? Go classic. Classic skin for the face. Commando.
So it only gives you the link. It doesn't really give you like a direct link.
Alright, time to open it up. Oh, what, to that one game? Stream cap. Yeah, lay up them archers, boys and girls.
What happened? You're talking about John Proctor? What happened to him? Him and Abigail? Oh, okay.
Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, while everybody's going through this coronavirus, you know what I'm doing?
Well, what's that? What you doing, Kelso?
Dude, I'm on Bloomberg all the time checking where the stocks are so I know where to invest.
Yeah, well, the mask and toilet paper and all that was great for a while until people are getting sued for gouging now.
Like, and Asian companies are putting in. Alright, so who's first? Me?
Doesn't matter. I'll fill in. You guys choose.
Okay.
I hate being an assassin. Where is Mr. Aquarius? Jeez, so many. Ah, wait, that works. You know me, Trix. I always like the magicians.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, dude, I want that skin. There you go. I'm gonna activate a booster for you beautiful guys.
Okay, what do you got? We got a warrior and a okay.
Vulcan.
There we go. I just activated 3 team boosters.
Genius.
Get him.
Now we
Get
should be able to dominate, huh?
2 times
Why
voice
not?
burst unlocks all voice packs.
Oh yeah. I haven't played Vulcan in such a long time. I always enjoy Vulcan. Vulcan game is like fun. I love playing Vulcan.
Thing right now, apparently. Ah, damn! I was looking for a pooch. Ah,
All right, guys, here we go. We got this. All right, let's
heck out of this guy.
Whoops, I don't want to do that.
Probably.
Okay, we ready, guys? Microphone's all up in the way. Let me put that like right there so it's not all up with my face.
Okay, how do I actually get the names above the characters instead of the actual character name?
No, for now I'm gonna move this over here because this is not working right there. So there we go.
There we go. Much better.
Yeah, thumper, right. Very true, very true.
Minions have
Oh shoot, the game started.
My enemies will burn in the fires of my assault.
Yeah, they start you with that little ward there. That's pretty cool, I guess. It's different.
Yeah, they've already cleared something.
Oh, I can pick who gets the bonus? Hold on, Project Zero said I could pick who gets the bonus. I didn't know that. Oh, don't leave the circle. Okay. They're coming for, oh, never mind. That was just an XP. Okay, I'm gonna put a ward here for us.
Towards this strange thing.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. There we go. Let's hold it down, boys. There we go. Alright, let's go for blue. Oh, well, I'm being ganked.
Ow.
Watch it, watch right.
Ow.
Double kill.
Wow.
My finest.
See, this was Trick's problem back in the day. We were all so terrible, and he was so good.
Right.
Maybe like a
Oh!
Oh, I got a pulse stuck on my face. I couldn't move.
No, I almost had him. You lucky son of a gun. Biscuits and gravies without it being in front of my face. I would smash it. All right, let's go. We got this. Oh, I'm getting ganked. Oh, I'm gonna knock her in the air. Oh, there she goes. Oh man, she is. You know what? I'm her target. He wants me. I'm gonna pull back. Alright guys, so we gotta pull back. Definitely play it safe here. Find out what's going on. Let's get our ultimates. What do we do with this? Not that we can't do anything. We can't even upgrade these. Oh yeah, we can. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm gonna go back to the boots, get that going. We're gonna try to get Book of Thoth rolling in. All right, let's go. Let's go. We got this, team. All right, what's going on up there, guys? Oh no! Oh no! What?
Oh, what the?
They ganked in on the left.
No!
Wow. What the heck?
Wow, yeah, that is crazy, bro.
That hurt.
Man, he's always getting out lucky, man. Let me tell you. That hurt. All right, let's go for a blue. Or, well, I guess it'll be for me, kind of. Well, no, blue's gone. They grabbed it. Never mind. Let me get a ward down for us.
Not an inferno cannon, but helpful in its own way.
Yeah. What, Twist of Metal? You said I'm making a new one? When?
What? Wait, what?
Oh, she still wants me. Oh, nope. I'm her target still. Careful, guys. Careful. Alright, Kelso, pull back. Oh, you guys are level 4.
It's not like we're trying to be level 4.
You're okay. Oh, watch those. Pull back, pull back.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelsey. Push. Oh, watch the left. She's coming. Oh, watch. Oh. Ready for a double? Oh, it's a single, but I'll take it. Ooh, they're all so weak, man.
I may need to recalibrate after that.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Fortunately, I gotta go back. Sorry, I tried, guys. Oh, I failed miserably. I was so close. So close, team. So close, but we got this. Don't worry, we're gonna get this next round here. We're gonna go for that book of toll.
My enemies will burn in the fire.
But I keep kidding shit, man. Oh, yeah.
Oh no! What? Oh!
Okay, now I'm freezing. First I'm hot, then I'm cold.
An ally has
Oh, no. Pull back, Kelso. Oh, no.
How did he take
I
that
almost
one
had him.
Yeah, he used his ult.
How did he freaking wipe half my health? 1-5.
your middle tower is under attack.
Don't worry, I'm defending it. We're good. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm here to the rescue.
Let's get these buffs.
Oh, help me, guys. Or not. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, I did not want that.
No. They took me out. They focused me since I'm level 7, but that's cool. So they're gonna. I gotta get their hunter out of that lane. They gotta go. Callie's not really playing like I thought Callie would. It's interesting.
Couldn't have forged it better.
We need some lifesteal, but we can't do it yet. It's all good, guys. All good. Sometimes you're yes, but others you're no. Right. True. Very true, Project Zero.
Hey, now.
Very true indeed.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Oh, Kelsey, go back. Oh, your character, I think, has lifesteal, I think. Or...
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But they're not letting me get it. Plus, there's no way there's just that one.
Right. Oh, careful.
An ally
Dang.
has been slain.
Yeah, well, she's an assassin, so...
Just told me to AFK into the tower. What the heck?
Your middle tower is under attack.
Not good. Oh, help me! Ooh. Get out of there, get out.
Man, no, it's too late. I ulted into it. I ulted into it. He pushed me. I love using it one character. But I always get a good
Your
use of
middle
this guy.
tower is under attack.
I get to judge by who's failing.
Ow. That hurts.
Your middle tower is
This is
under
my second
killing
game in 7
spree.
years. These guys probably played too much.
Your
Wow.
middle tower has
Yeah, pull back, Elsa, careful. Blah, 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 blah.
That one with her ability where she just like
My
lunges
enemies
right
will
on top of
burn in
that
the
fire.
fires of my assault.
Who, what?
That one girl, she's annoying.
Yeah, well, Callie has an ultimate where if we're to target, she gets full health back if she kills you.
Oh man, that's
Yeah, her. Yeah, that's why you'll know who she's focusing on. All right, where they? Watch right. Oh! I see them.
Left and right.
Oh, pull back! Oh man.
They got, what they do is he pulls in, and then he does the ult when he pulls in.
Oh yeah, man, they got team composition going on right now. Don't worry, I'll defend Phoenix. Oh boy. Wow.
Oh man, missed.
No, 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 get out of there. Wow.
Didn't kill him still. Wow. I ulted
Like, I don't know
all this.
how they moved away, how he moved out of the way so quickly. I stunned that.
Careful, pull back, pull back. She was waiting for you.
See, you got that getaway though.
Oh man, that was a massacre.
Yeah, I'm not playing right now. I'm serious. I love Vulcan. He's fun. All right, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, he's going back. I'm gonna try to get blue. Hopefully they didn't grab it. Yeah, they grabbed it.
Not an inferno cannon, but help.
Don't forget, guys. You got that G key for your free ward. Don't forget to place it.
Yeah,
An ally has been slain.
Just focus on me.
Oh, Kels, I'm gonna need some help. Oh, we can get him.
Just walk right past you. Just one person.
I'm dead. Dang it. Like, he's not even good, man. It's just now he's level 12.
Triple kill.
Dang, he got 10 kills. Holy macro. Yeah, he's fed.
we suck.
Nah, he's fed. Stay away from on her. That's why he's not scared. He knows he got damage on us.
When he says that, when Trick says that, it's his nice way of saying we suck.
Nah, you guys are good. Trust me, I've seen way worse throughout my Smite time.
Couldn't have forged it better myself.
Okay.
Middle Phoenix has been destroyed.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's neat here.
Man, that one back after that.
Dude, they're baiting again. They're baiting again.
Yeah, don't fall for it. Just pull back. We don't have any wards out, so we can't see the jungle. Callie's gonna gank you guys. She's fighting the thing in the left lane. Don't even worry about it. Yep, they got it anyway. Alright, let's go. Phoenix is down too. Pull back, pull back.
Retreat! Retreat!
Immortal.
Wow.
Wow.
I tried to block it, but
Come on, man.
I fell back. I still got murdered behind everybody.
Alright, do you guys want to surrender or do you want to... Nah, they won anyway. Yep, they won. I was thinking maybe we can have a late game, but I just looked at there where they were. They won it no matter what.
yeah.
Yeah.
They had some good range and good AoE.
That one was rough.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, I did okay because I was able to actually put damage to the enemy, but like if I go anything else, we won't be able to.
You had your range, man. You had your range, and then you had your front damage.
Heck yeah.
We were
I didn't
both
feel like I was
alright.
gaining anything until it was already too late.
Oh, I just missed the Q. Dang it.
Wait, what do you mean?
It was at 0 seconds. We could have gotten into a next game real quick. I'm gonna give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn my fan off real quick.
I'm gonna get a character.
I won't be too far away.
What if I could buy a character? Probably not.
Not like that, no. You can buy units, scrolls.
Oh,
which
on
help
that
you
one?
do
Okay. I thought you were talking about this.
Oh, Smite or the other?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Smite.
Oh, no. Were you talking about Smite?
Yeah, I was going to buy a character with Smite if I had enough money, but I doubt I
Dude,
do.
I could get one more unit in if I just... 5 more minutes. That's all I need. I got 449. There's 5 minutes. I can barely get in there.
I got a minute 40 to place another unit, so I can get another one in.
You know, if you got a turkey ham hock, you can make that happen right now.
Don't have one of them. Oh, I do have.
Did I miss the
I got
queue?
5.
Oh, yeah, we did.
I only have 5.
Sorry, we were placing our units. Unlike you, we can place more than one.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
pretty.
turning out to be fun. Smite was a great choice, Trix. Even if we're losing, it's refreshing. Why did it say 20 seconds? Are we, is that a queue?
Okay. Is on her any good? Or does anybody
All
know?
right, next queue's coming up, which is perfect. You guys are okay. Like I said, we're all rusty. Even I made some mistakes.
Okay, so would on her be good with unlock?
Anymore? With all the nerfs and whatnot, we're so
It
outdated.
really depends on your class. Like first, you got to find a class that you're good at and that you want to play.
I usually do good at hunter, but
You can never go wrong with Ymir.
True, true, very true.
I suck with him.
Yeah, I'll fill in. Don't worry. Watch. Okay, Kelso, what are you going, Jim? What are you going to go with?
Okay.
I'm going to start the raid or Captain Battle 2 real quick while you guys are still choosing. Oh. Ow. I think I almost broke my neck on that one. Oh, what are we doing, Jim? Well, what do you got? What do you got?
Oh, let's do Artemis, I guess.
Who? What? Artemis? Okay.
Boosters.
So, oh wow, a bunch of boosters.
Lightweight, baby!
Oh, Hercules. Can't go wrong with Hercules.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Dude, Upwatch, Artemis, and Hercules. That's actually a good classic team right there.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. The heck happened to my stream captain game? Oh, it disappeared on me.
All about that. Yeah.
Jeez, he's.
Oh, I can choose a winner, I guess. Like, and then I could just do random.
We didn't already fight, did we?
Yeah, we did. There was 10 of us.
What?
Yeah.
And we won?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay. So who was on the chart list?
The what?
Who was on the list? Who?
So right now we had J Bay coming in with 7 or number first. Can't read these names because I got the screen so small. Why did I made? You know, let me change that.
So tiny.
Yeah, so little.
Oh man, the game's gonna start. We ain't even gonna know.
I got third.
No. All right, I'm just gonna do the random again. Why is it always picking Project Zero?
No.
It's rigged.
I think next time I'll just choose one. I'll get the next battle up so everybody can see it.
I mean, it's rigged.
So rigged.
Right.
Oh, dude, I got a purple out of that. That's cool. Match has already started. Oh
See what
my,
we got.
these are the blow up pumpkins. You place yourself as close as you can to that chest, man. This is a chest run. Ooh.
Ooh.
Poor old mage. They've already got blue buff guaranteed. Ah,
I'm gonna
watch.
use boost unit, and I'm gonna boost.
Come on, guys, come on. Let's get blue.
Yeah, shoot, we gotta get back in the game, yeah.
I was tapped out.
I'm already in the game. Do some out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're getting.
Take it.
Take it. Got it. Uh-oh.
Oh, Millane's push. I'm gonna defend it.
Someone's on our right side. Achilles. Coming out over here. Blue.
Watch it, watch it, watch it. They're here. Yeah, don't worry about blue right now. Lane's push. Well, I'll defend lane. You two get those. Careful, they're coming over to you guys.
Run, 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 run.
An enemy has left the game.
Run.
Oh, I don't have any mana. Careful. Wow, she got full health because she killed you. Pull back, Jim. Don't worry. Don't Jim. Don't be a superhero. Anubis hurts. Oh my god. Okay.
Hard to tell what
Tower is under attack.
Oh, I missed it. Ow.
Wow. You got away with that, really? Alright, I'm gonna pull back real quick. I'm gonna
Tower is under attack. An ally has been slain.
No! No!
An enemy has been slain.
Yeah, froze her. Thank God.
Oh. Sorry about that, guys. Oh yeah, we're getting wrecked already. Okay, we gotta go easy, guys. They've already got 3 kills.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Okay, so don't forget to put wards out.
Later, dude.
Oh my god, 16 minutes. This is stupid, man. Like, of all days I play Smite, the day I play it wants to do stupid maintenance. Like, and it's down for so long.
Oh my.
Just run. Don't fight her.
Big games.
She kills you, she gets full health.
That used to be a thing.
No, that's always been her thing. As long as she goes after her target, that's her passive ability, or with her thing. She's going for damage. Okay. Yeah. Get her. Ah! How you do it? Let her go, get her a little de-leveled there. She's up there in the levels.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Wow. Anubis is standing perfectly still. Oh, you guys are both low on health. Careful, they're gonna kill you both.
Get out of this.
Enemy has been slain.
I know, I'm so sorry, Report Exam. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me. What's the matter with me? Right, okay. Alright, let's play it safe. Careful, Kelsey's going for you.
Your middle tower is under attack. Killing spree. Slain an enemy.
That's how you do it.
What?
You're playing no more. No more. And Trix is back. Oh, get out. Oh, I hurt. Wait, watch Anubis. He's coming. Oh, nice. I'm taking hits. Ah, you're good, Project Zero. You're perfect. Don't worry. All right, nice and easy, guys. Nice and easy. There you go. Knock those minions out. Don't forget, you can eat your men too for health. Wow. Okay, I'm dead. That's nice.
Wow.
Double kill.
Got all of us? Jeez.
Your middle tower has been destroyed.
We all got hooked. That was bad.
Your middle phoenix is under attack.
Yeah, they're about to be at our menu, our thing again already. All right, let's see. What do we want to do here? They got new items. What the heck is all this? All right, you guys go for blue if you want. Or Artemis go for damage there, that's fine. Is it gone? Yeah. Oh, we already got a ward out there, okay. They give you some free wards in this game. That's so weird how they...
This machine is taken, bros.
Guess they're trying to make him good.
Careful mid. Oh man, I forgot we lost tower. Not good. Not good. Run! Artemis, go back, run! Don't face that.
Oh wow.
Been slain.
Okay. Yeah. You seem to go very close and personal. You play like a warrior, kind of like my character is a warrior. You don't want to go too close to people. You see how like Anubis is sitting back, like he does damage, but he doesn't go in battle. Like he knows.
I'm trying to get used to this arrow.
Yeah.
Thing. I changed it, but it didn't change.
Wow, they got the... Oh no, is that gonna be our fin... Oh dear jeez. Okay, they're gonna be buffed, so yeah, be careful. Whatever happened with Rogue Company? I think that's another game Hi-Rez made. I've never played it. They keep emailing me about it. Like, hey, how do you think about our game? I'm like, you know, about that.
That was the one that we were going to play that had the NDA, so you never did play
Oh, yeah, that's why. Yep, well, once you go NDA, I ain't playing it.
it. But they are going... That was an alpha, so that's why. And that'll be a beta pretty soon, I'm sure.
Oh, yours. Or no, that's Artemis, actually. Or, oh, yeah, that's right. Now they're laughing at us, guys. I'll let them laugh at us. Come on, let's get them. Now she's too cocky.
Wow.
Go back. Oh.
She has a reason to be just destroying us.
An enemy has been slain.
Not much we can do here. They're all high leveled. They're fed, so I gotta just defend.
Baby! Your Titan is under attack.
Just fight minions. Don't even push. They want you guys to pull out far. Alright. Okay, so let's ward so we don't get ganked.
I'll rep you later, dude.
I'll push mid. If you can put a ward on the right lane there, Jim, that'd be great.
Got one. Don't know if that's there, but it won't let me pick it up.
Oh, already placed an epic tank. Look at that. Alright, they're pushing mid. I hate when they laugh like that. Watch out for his ultimate.
Really? Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Your Titan is under attack. You have slain an enemy.
Oh my god, no help. Oh, I'm dead. Can't do anything, they're too high leveled. Just about to play super defensive. Can't even attack them yet. No, they're lucky I'm not like an assassin or a hunter or a mage. I would have took them out. haven't played Herc in so long, man.
Yo, sweet pads, bro.
Okay. Got fire minions here. Okay, so it looks like damn, I can't believe it's 6 a.m. guys. That is crazy. Alright, watch it because they got the buff, so they do extra damage and a health regen, so sit back, get the wards on the side there so they can't gank us.
This machine is taken,
Oh,
bro.
they're coming mid. Oh, they're taking our Phoenix down. They got it anyway. Ain't much we can do here. No, they're not taking it? Oh, okay. Wow.
Killing spree. An enemy.
I'm dead.
Killing spree.
Wow.
Your middle phoenix is under attack. Your middle phoenix has been destroyed. Your titan is under attack.
Yeah. Never really was a fan of Smite at this hour. Like a bunch of tryhards come out.
Yep.
Yeah, just join our queue, Neil. I'll get you in, bro.
For pretty much any game.
Or if I remember, I'll grab you in real quick. Alright, let's see. Let's go easy. Let's try to get a late game here. Yeah, I'm not liking this new Joust map. I don't know. I like the old one better.
Yeah, me too.
Careful, they're coming in. Man, we don't have any. Ah, you did that ultimate a little too early. Like now they're mocking. I hate that. Let me meet these guys because they're really making me mad.
Get out.
Watch his ultimate.
Your titan is under attack.
Okay, well, they won. Just surrender.
You have slain an enemy.
Yeah, they were too strong. They had a strong, like, assassin and mage there.
Oh, I hate that laughing.
I like the. Yeah, I hate it too. I just mute. I like the and mainly it's PC players, bro. Like they're a bunch of like buttheads.
Oh yeah.
But Xbox ain't no better either.
I know.
I think PlayStation was probably the most calm Smite experience. But I don't think you can. Can you even turn crossplay off? I think you can. But really, it's Steam players, bro. Once this game went to Steam, that's when the toxic happened.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, this game when it was like a separate launcher, it was fine.
Well, mostly Steam, yeah. Anybody that plays on Steam is toxic, pretty much. No matter what game it is.
Yeah.
It could be the least toxic game in the world and they still make it toxic.
Well, we'll be doing a oh my god, Siege is so long. We'll do a Siege.
I put an epic out there, baby.
Yes, you did.
I think I put a couple epics out there already.
Yeah, we got about 14 minutes, 13 minutes. We have 10 units. I say we probably just go for it. Hold on, give me a second.
I have 2 more minutes to get another epic out there.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the fight first, guys. All right, guys, here we go. Let's get the fight rolling in. We're gonna start it early, guys. In 3, 2, 1. Their life did not go in vain.
Nope, I took a pumpkin to the face.
Right, right. So what should I really do here? I mean, I see like maybe I should be giving the first place winner or
Still
what?
probably be Project Zero.
I like the random because I don't want to like I don't know. I just don't want to rig anything. Just but the random, yeah.
It's already rigged.
Well, let's do this. This time, Project Zero is not first. Last time and all the other times, Project Zero was first.
The way some people do it, they basically ask who needs that more than anyone else. Who's closest to the scrolls? Because the certain amount of scrolls you get, the more you can level up your character or unlock the character. So
Right.
it's getting closer. But I just say go whatever. It don't matter to me. I'm in it for the experience, man.
Dum, bum,
Who
dum.
came in number 1 this time? You?
Did I? No, I'm number 8.
Who came in first anyway? I didn't see.
Right.
Yeah, he clicked too fast.
Oh, don't show on that. Wow, cool, awesome.
Oh, what?
What match?
Is ready.
Yep.
Yeah, he hasn't even picked. Who'd you pick, Trix? For item rewards, huh? Who'd you do? Who'd you pick for the rewards?
I didn't pick nobody yet because I opened up a raffle. So whoever gets in gets to choose, gets the raffle.
Well, whoever. I'm
45 minutes. 7-minute queue. Oh my god, really?
Wait, isn't Smite gonna die soon? So.
Yeah, but you can still play once the servers are down. I think. Yeah, you just finish your round. Oh man, there's no other mode I like though. Siege is cool, but man, 7 minutes.
I was able to find you around.
Can't do joust. I don't like Clash. I would say Conquest, but not right now. Siege is really the only thing. We can do Assault, but that's also still 3 minutes.
Keep doing Siege, I don't care.
Oh, we'll wait 6 minutes. Screw it. We're gonna raffle anyway.
I mean, you could reset queue.
Nah, but it doesn't matter. The matchmaking in general.
Nobody's playing the game anymore, huh?
Yeah, everybody's getting off because the maintenance.
Yeah, I can't wait till that dungeon crawler of Minecraft comes out. It looks
Oh,
like
yeah?
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's pretty fun.
Oh.
Right now, it's a free-to-play closed beta.
What is it?
The dungeon or Minecraft.
Oh, the Minecraft thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get your count back though first.
If it's Java, I can't do it.
What do you mean if it's a job? It's a real game.
Oh, it's like a whole separate game, or is it actually just like a mod for Minecraft?
No, it's not a mod.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because my Java Minecraft, I don't have it right now. I try logging into it. I can't. I did everything I can.
Nope, full game.
Yeah, I want to get back under again so we can
And
build
you
our
can do- you
crazy
can equip
castle.
gems or power-ups to certain armor pieces and weapon pieces and stuff like that. It's pretty simple.
All right, guys. So we have
I have to check that out.
what do we have here? Where's my all right, so we got the raffle rolling in, guys. So we got 4 of us in here. We're gonna go ahead and 3, 2, 1, and Kelso, you are the winner. So I pick a winner, and we're gonna choose Kelso. Congratulations.
I don't say no.
There we go, guys. Back to the map. All right. Now that we're back to the map, we're gonna go ahead and start the next one here. Huh.
I know it's also available for PC too.
Wait, so I can only follow the white path, right? I can't.
This is Microsoft, but
Oh my god, look at that difficulty level.
oh, you played Minecraft Dungeons on. Also, it's available for PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
So I'm guessing since it's Minecraft, it's probably on.
Minecraft almost done. It's on all 4. So you just go to Microsoft. You just look up Minecraft Dungeon beta, and you can go to the sign up page. I would do PC or Xbox One. Doesn't matter to me. What'd you guys pick?
Xbox Game Pass for PC. It's on Xbox Game Pass too. Wow, cool.
Wait, it's on the Game Pass?
Mhm.
So you don't even have to sign up for the beta?
Guess not, because it says install.
Oh.
Ooh, that's what we should have been playing, man. I totally would have played that all night.
Yeah, that looks fun.
Trix, download it.
Hello, what?
Download Minecraft Dungeon on Game Pass.
What is it on? It's on Game Pass?
Yeah.
It's good. I don't have the PC for Game Pass, though. Just Xbox. Is that on Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on both, I think.
All right.
Xbox Game Pass for PC. Yeah, it's on Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Xbox Live. Yep.
I'm playing Smite right now, and I'm playing Stream Raiders, and I'm streaming, and my GPU's at 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know. I'm scared.
Only 43, huh?
Wow.
Good today, aren't you?
Oh, my.
Putting in the work on that game.
It is, man. Smite puts so much work on my 1080. Look at that.
Blow up.
I never had it to where my GPU and CPU is the same temperature, like even while gaming. That's so crazy. Usually the GPU hits, above 60 for sure.
Nope. You finally found a game from 2013.
You know what's funny? I've done that. I played games that I played like 5, 6, 8 years ago, and I'm playing it now, and I'm like,
Dude,
everything.
League of Legends, it only uses 25%, and that's after they did a complete overwork.
Right. Wait, who was I talking to earlier? I know I was talking to you, Kelsey, about MMOs, but I was talking to somebody else about it.
Ah.
Yeah, we talked about Final Fantasy 15, a couple other ones, but I want to find one, man. Just I think before going subscription based, maybe find a free one for now.
Yeah, dude, Minecraft Dungeons.
Is that an MMO or?
It's a dungeon crawler.
Ah.
Action adventure.
Ah.
Ooh, I can wait. It says pre-install with Xbox Game Pass. I think you still have to sign for the beta.
I'm scared to do this, man.
Mine just said install.
Mine said pre-install.
What?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can actually launch it. Let's see. See if I crash my computer now.
So.
And pre-order is it'll be $20.
Oh.
But it really does look like. That's why I signed up for the beta. Dude.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
yeah.
It's so tiny. It's so tiny.
Okay, so yep, I have to do the beta sign up because.
Oh, dude, I downloaded it. It does say play though.
But
Too
yeah,
early.
I come up
Yeah,
there
too
saying
early.
that too early. Yep. I just found that out myself.
When's the release? Does it say?
Okay.
It looks fun for a $20 game. I mean, I'd pay $20 for what I saw. Can't regret $20 too much, you know?
Yeah, that's not too bad for a $20 game. Sucks when you buy it though. If you want it on other consoles, you probably have to buy it.
Hey, but think about
$5.
this. It may say pre-order for $20, but it always says that when you have Game Pass. It's probably going to be free when it releases. Available on May 26th.
Oh.
May 26th. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's right. They were going to bring it out this month, and then it got pushed next month. Thank Corona.
Yeah. Corona's not too bad. But lemons or even actually I like limes. Limes are better. Let's see.
Yeah, with a little bit of if you're smart.
Yeah. Yeah, Neil said that's what that's oh, finally we got a match. Yay!
Alright, I gotta place a guy.
I'm like multitasking here.
Yeah.
I almost screwed up.
Place a unit. Get in there. Right. Holy crap, I have no clue what to put out there because that's a lot of skeletons. And there's a giant boss. And there's some epics. Oh yeah, we're gonna need people to place the units in this mofo. This is gonna be a slaughter.
Okay, so you think I should be a hunter or warrior?
That's on you, bro.
Oops.
Yeah, well, this is Siege, so it can be. So really, in Siege, what we're gonna want is one melee, one range in both lanes.
Okay, one melee, one range. Okay.
Oh, that might have been a bad pick.
Like right now, Tyr is gonna be melee. Also, you're gonna be range. Anubis is really good. He does a lot of damage in lifesteal, but you can get taken out very easily if you don't know how to use him.
Give me another one, Trix. Give me another one.
Well, right now we got 20 seconds. Neil, what did you want to choose, bro? I know your mic's muted, but just go ahead and call your roll. And who wants to go what side, what lane?
Oh wait, I know what to pick.
Okay. Shoot. Right. Shoot. We got 3 melees. Crap.
Oh.
I should have went Hunter. No. I should have went Mage. That's what I should have did.
Oh, they got Fenrir.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
Oh, dude, do you know how long it's been since I've seen that Tyr skin? Jeez.
Achilles. He's warrior, right? I don't remember. Jeez, it's been a while. But the good news is we got physical mage. Okay, we got 2 different classes. Thankfully for that. But now
5 of us are gonna take down.
Mom, I need damage ASAP. Not anymore.
Two bots and their tricks.
I have no idea. I'm going crazy.
Oh, it's been so long. Wait.
It has.
No, I'm bot. I'm bot, yeah. I think. Alright.
Okay, so we'll go the other lane then, I guess.
Who's going what?
I'm supposed to be bot, right? Am I supposed to be bot or top? I forget.
It's really up to you.
Do I really have that much lane switch?
Precisely.
Where's everybody else? Everybody else is still at base camp?
Trix is so.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Me and Jim in one lane. Yeah, we're both melee. No, there's 3 melees anyway, so we don't have a choice. Yeah, this is fine. I don't remember what Achilles is. I'm losing my marbles, man. All right, let's go for mage, I guess. All right, don't grab it. I would say let Kukulkan grab it, or did he give a thing already? No, Kelso, you don't want it? I'll take it since I'm a mana hugger anyway. My character uses mana like no tomorrow.
I'm just getting confused on the map right now.
No, you're okay.
I'm just helping the jungler.
All right, Kelso. I mean, Jim. We're both melee, so be careful. Oh, jeez. What the hell was that? Oh, she's one of the new ones.
Just came in here and smacked me.
Man. Smacked you with her flower.
She's a flower power.
Flower power. That's one of my favorite characters in Twisted Metal 3.
Ow. Those are some evil flowers.
You better watch it, man. Her power is her flowers pop.
They do. What she got for the flowers?
And don't worry about attacking too much. We'll just focus on leveling up here.
Your right tower is under attack.
Alright, guys, we gotta hold it down here. We gotta try to win this. Hold it down and win it, man.
Yeah, I got help back from the house. Okay. Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Man, she got some range. She got some range. All right, how you guys looking over there? Oh.
Okay.
Elsie, you might want to help right lane. He needs help.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I just had to place a ward.
Oh yeah. Get her, Jim, get her! Oh, never mind, she jumps out. You like my towers, bro? I wish I was Cabrakan right now. PC on each hand, one for streaming, one for gaming. That'd be great. All right, Jim. Don't forget to use your secondary stance so you can get health. Or run away. Run away.
Defender's got me.
Run, Jim, run!
I was trapped. I couldn't move.
Oh, I can't get her, man. Dang it.
Whatever the heck that thing was, man. I couldn't move.
Yeah, that's her ultimate. Yeah, don't forget, you're on the mouse, right? Keyboard?
Yeah.
Press 3 for your secondary stance, and then hit 2 to steal life from enemies.
Okay.
So think of your second stance as your like defense mode, and your first stance as your attack mode.
Okay.
3:30 minutes. That's stupid. Well, anyway, we gotta go to bed soon anyway. I mean, it's almost 7 in the morning. I've been doing this every day, and it kills my schedule because I end up not getting back on till like 10 and 11, 12 at night.
My glasses.
All right, I'm gonna pull back.
Okay.
All right, guys. So we pulled back just now.
Enemy siege juggernaut has arrived.
Juggernaut coming up right side.
Your left tower is under attack.
These noobs.
Yeah. I like that. Trying to pwn these noobs. Oh. All right. Hopefully you guys can take that juggernaut down. I'm gonna be tough. I don't want to leave Jim alone.
Your right tower is under attack.
Careful, Jim. They want you, bro. They're planning attack on you.
I know.
Yeah, they could tell by the way you're playing this tier because your battle stance is a bit different. Most people playing tier is a little aggressive. All right. Right lane needs help bad. Jim, go help right. I'll be here. I'll be fine.
Okay.
An ally.
Yeah, they need help right bad.
An enemy siege juggernaut has been destroyed.
I barely missed her. She got away.
No, you're good. You're good. I just wanted to make sure. I have a siege on the left, just enough to at least hold lane. All right, Jim. Once they're both over there, come back to me.
I have no mana.
You're good.
Still waiting for it.
Go ahead and push that right lane if you guys can.
Has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain.
Wait. Oh shoot. Neil's over here. Neil, I didn't know you. Oh.
Ow.
You're good. You're good.
An ally has been slain.
Jim, you died? How'd you die? There's nobody over there. Did you die by minions? Oh my gosh, Jim. That's embarrassing. Please say no. That's okay. We all make that mistake.
I got killed by the player.
Oh, I got ganked hardcore, man. Enemy missing right. Dang it, I'm dead. I'm dead. All three here.
You have been slain. Your right tower.
They're gonna kill me.
I hate Siege sometimes because it's usually clans.
Fucking player.
Your right tower.
Where's the guy that's supposed to be on right side? Why is he just sticking around the store, man?
Enemy missing right.
Or he
They're gonna get left tower.
I think so.
I am faster and stronger.
And they got lucky there. Are they laughing again? I'm muting everybody.
Your left tower has been destroyed. An ally
Wow.
has been slain.
You died, Jim?
Yep.
A bunch of new items in it. I can't even like look at them because I ain't got time. Oh my god, I did not buy another item. Seriously? Wow, I just bought 2 tier 2s.
Is under attack.
Yeah, alright, they obviously pushed my lane enough, so they're gonna come after you guys over there. Because they're stealing our buffs now. That's great.
An enemy has been slain.
There we go.
An enemy siege juggernaut has arrived.
Alright, we need a ward middle lane, man. They keep grabbing it. Alright, right lane needs help. And I'm about to die again. Hey. Yeah, just kill me. Alright, Jim. Just don't chase too much. Just hit and pull back.
Enemy siege juggernaut has arrived.
Jim, run. Remember, you're in defense mode right now. You can't really do much damage. Oh my gosh.
An enemy siege juggernaut has been destroyed. Killing spree.
Oh my god. There's 3 over on right side. And a
Yep, and I got Juggernaut.
Yeah, we took out 1 jug.
Well, they grabbed the one in the middle lane, so that gave them 2.
Yep.
Kind of spoon.
Exactly, they both went right side.
Alright, I'll come right, Jim. Defend left.
Killing spree.
Or never mind.
Yeah, left needs a heavy push.
Your
Wow,
right
what the
tower
heck?
is under attack.
Oh, he stayed
Ally
back too.
has
He still
been
hit me.
slain.
Nothing can hurt you.
Under attack. Your right tower has been destroyed.
Great. Nothing else here. And that's nice. Oh, come on, man. I'm getting irritated. I'm dead.
Oh, dude.
I don't even care right now. Oh.
An ally has been slain.
Come on, I tried to push.
Yeah.
I tried to go invincible.
An enemy
Yeah, I did not want to do Siege, but there's 4 of us, so we didn't really have a choice. Siege is usually clans. We're going against people that know how to play.
So once again, he's not how to play.
Yeah, we're not gonna win this one, but we don't have a choice. Server's about to go down anyway, so we're just gonna have to just do what we can.
Left side getting heavy push.
All right, let's see. Let's just finish off what we were doing here.
Tankiness is next to godliness.
Okay.
Yep, blue right there.
Kels, I'll take this.
Your siege juggernaut has arrived.
And push it.
Killing spree.
I'm gonna help left. Careful pushing right, because they're coming over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the siege do it.
Dang.
I'm gonna go
My
left with you.
glasses can't see everything.
An enemy. Your siege juggernaut has been destroyed.
All right. Do one of you guys have a ward to gain or a ward middle or the ward right here? They're gonna try to grab it again.
They're on me, they're on me.
Yep. Wow.
An ally has been slain.
Careful, Jim. Oh, who's there? Just Changa. Lanes are pushed, which is good.
Need a right push though.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, and we still need someone on left, so we can't leave someone on that.
Yeah, so there's somebody coming left. How many seconds you guys have?
Don't waste.
Jim, go get left. I'll watch right.
Okay.
Just stay near tower as best as you can. Don't push too much. 25 seconds? Okay. Yeah.
Your left
Yeah,
tower
just stay to the tower.
The tower's gonna
Go
fall.
Your
left
left
of them.
tower has been destroyed.
And they're going for Jug. Oh my gosh.
An enemy siege juggernaut has arrived.
You got it.
They did this. Whose plants are these? I ain't seen this before.
Yeah, she's one of the new ones.
What the heck? Really?
How did
ally
she
has
juke the
been
dragon?
slain.
What? She juked the dragon while in lane of the dragon.
Oh,
God.
An ally has been
what the
slain.
heck?
You guys are up too far. There's nothing I can do here. Too many of them. I'm dead.
Your left phoenix has been destroyed.
They got too many kills, man.
An enemy siege juggernaut has arrived. Your Titan is under attack.
Thank God.
An enemy siege juggernaut has been destroyed.
Neo's up there by himself, guys. Let's just take this. Get her!
Killing spree.
Alright, pull back. Let's get that siege out of here.
An enemy siege juggernaut has been destroyed. An ally has been slain.
All you had to do was have a
Oh my God! Come on! Wow.
Killing spree. An enemy has been slain. Rampage.
bamboozled, huh?
It doesn't matter. They pulled through anyway.
Your Titan is under attack.
Huh, that was actually a good game.
Well, probably only got about what 10 minutes before server maintenance or whatever. Can't believe it's almost 7 in the morning.
At least this time we did it streaming.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna close it.
I'm scared about this boss battle though on Shinkaten.
I don't know. We got Opa Piman. He's a level 19.
How do you see that? You have to click on him?
No, you scroll over them.
Oh, but it should show them like on the side of the list, like what level they are. That'd be helpful.
We have a couple of level 19s in there.
Oh.
I wish I had some chicken wings, because then I could just speed up my availability.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I ain't afraid of this. It's simple. There ain't no blowing up skulls, so.
Yeah, it won't let me play no more. Server maintenance coming about.
Hey,
No.
the only thing you have to worry about is that backup in the back. Just
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I mean,
yesterday when it's around this time, I'm just already thinking about breakfast.
6 minutes, right?
It's only 3:44 for me, so 4 o'clock. I used to wake up at 4 or 5 every morning just to eat breakfast. I miss those days. Eat
I used
lunch
to be
around
happy
11.
to get to go to work at 4 in the morning. That sucked.
Dude, I actually liked it. Maybe it's because I was young, though.
It's okay, Neil. Yeah, it's okay. I know we tried.
And I
Sorry,
had
man.
weekends.
Thank you, Zombie. Thank you for the follow.
Yeah,
All right, guys, we're gonna get started.
Nah,
it sucked.
We got about what, like 6 minutes? 6 minutes on
I
this.
knew
Don't forget,
too
guys.
late.
Oh yeah, and the
Nah.
bad thing was I was working at a deli, so first thing I had to do is go
So close, guys. We got
into
this.
the freezer after being outside in the cold.
Oh, dude, same. I had to open up everything in this big ass facility, and open up stores, turn on the fridges, go downstairs, take all the stock from the freezer and fridge, then come back upstairs, restock all that. 2 hours. I
man.
was there before everyone else.
Yeah, that's me. I was like 2.5 hours before anybody else showed up. Like,
But
oh,
you know what the first thing I did when I got there though?
what?
I set up all the coffee. So
Yeah,
that changed
I had to do
everything.
the coffee too,
It changed everything though. The coffee though.
because the farmers around here had to be at 5 o'clock in the morning. They had to have their coffee, so I had to
Hey,
get that ready.
dude, I got to watch the people like minions, right? Run
9 minutes, guys. 9 minutes.
setups were strong coffee.
Hmm.
Everything else afterwards was going to be mild to weak.
Yeah, Fenrir was there. I didn't have beads either, man. I don't even know
Toaster,
why
lemon
I
there.
picked Salvation. Like, what was I thinking?
Everything's gonna be.
Maybe I was
I
thinking
drank
of
one of the cups
salt?
of
I don't
coffee
know.
to go home, man. They
I'm
like
going crazy.
strong. I was like, wow.
And it didn't help that we had 3 melees, so I mean, we had to.
3 hours.
I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
could have been possible, but you know, it happens.
It worked like 10 or 12 hours. I did that.
I think we're just gonna start it, guys.
Okay.
Let's start it. I'm scared, but I think we're just gonna start it.
Oh,
You grab show. You think you help the team? I think that might have been why I grabbed Salvation. They kind of keep mana in lane, but
When I worked this job, it was.
I don't know. I don't know. But here we go, guys. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go!
Or no, not power. You either had a Red Bull or there was nothing else.
Showtime! Whoa!
Dude, that's all I know is how strong the band.
Are we getting wrecked? I don't know. Are we winning? Are we winning? Are we losing?
sleepy hero.
I tiny like kiwi apple energy drinks. Those
I don't know. I don't know, team. Oh, we got a lot of people still. I think we got it. I think we got it. Couple more soldiers to take down. Here we go. Here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. Man, archers, man. Archers. We did it. Winners. Good job, team. Wow.
25 kills. Wow.
Unbelievable, guys. Well,
level 20.
you know what that means, guys. Let's get that raffle up again, guys. Get you guys, whoever gets in this raffle right now gets that reward.
Dude, I'm fine. That's EXP right there.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, we're doing stream captain. I'll post it in a link there for you there, Zombie. Yeah, that's what we're doing right there. Yay! Woo! That was close. I didn't know if we were gonna make it or not, bro. They were.
It was the level 20s.
Yeah, because if not, it was a lot of them. Now, it looks like I'm gonna have to. Yeah, level up too.
Oh, you can hear that shit real loud then.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. All right, guys. So we got. Oh, I never put the timer on. Seriously?
It's called Stream
Yeah,
Captain.
I don't even see anybody playing this much anymore.
Oh, Stream Captain or Smite?
Yeah, Stream Captain.
Wait, who doesn't play it much anymore?
Stream Captain. I used to follow this guy that played it all the time. That's how I got leveled up higher, but nobody plays it now.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's one of those games. I think once you hit that level point, and it's just unless you can get the people to help you. I mean, I guess it's more like a impossible type of deal.
Well, he usually has like 150 to 200
Mm-hmm.
in his channel all the time, so he has the people, but he just don't play it no more.
Mm.
I don't know if he forgot about it or he just gave up on it or what, but and he actually bought like custom characters and everything to have like custom skins, and he's not playing it no
Jeez.
more. Like,
Well, maybe he was partnered with them. You know, maybe they had an arrangement, and once the partnership's over, they just quit. You know, there's a lot of like bigger streamers that are like that. Like they will literally play a game based on a contract or some sort of arrangement, or do a beta or do something. Like they won't do anything else. Like, and then once that deal's over, they're out.
I don't know if he was contracted or not, but I know he played it for. He was the first one I actually heard about the game from. Like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, he was probably partnered with them then. If he sounded like he was one of the originals. The heck is going on here?
What do you mean? What's going on?
Oh, the raffle's closed. Duh, I'm over here thinking like, what's wrong with the timer? Oh my gosh, yeah, I am tired. Holy dear jeez. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and draw the winner there right now, guys. And oh, wait, you guys don't even see the raffle. Hold on, let me. Wait, what the heck?
I'm going to order this morning.
Why is it up here?
I already go find me something to eat.
And it also does come down to free shipping.
I heard free. All right, here we go, guys.
I wish they would deliver out here.
3, 2, 1, and boom!
Man,
Kelso again?
make it sick.
Wow! All right, Kelso, let's get you in, bro.
Oh, what?
Rigged.
Let's get you again.
It's not rigged.
I don't know. Streamer Captain keeps picking Project Zero, and Trickspot keeps picking Kelso.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's all rigged.
There we go, guys. Boss defeated. So we got the new map for this area, which is cool. All right, I guess we're gonna go with the top part. Looks like it'll be easier.
Get my chest.
Can't get nothing.
I don't get anything. What the heck?
There we go.
Here we go. Finally. Wow.
Nothing.
Oh, I got a Centurion. I got meat and 25 gold. Nice.
I got a boss chest. Ooh, and I got some musketeers. I got 2 purples.
All right, we gotta keep these people in there, man.
You already gave me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on, hit that G spot.
Refreshes my screen. Is like,
Alright, what do we got here? We got Death Knight level 10. Uh-oh. An Epic Slime level 5.
Oh yeah. Let's get them in there, guys. Let's get them in there.
So we're gonna want archers on these motherfuckers.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and clear this out now. Get that out of there. I think that's gonna be it for Smite for the night, guys. We done quite a bit. It's gonna be server maintenance, so that's it. Smite is done. You know what's weird about Smite though? I think when PC is down, Xbox can still keep playing. I think, because I remember it used to be like that, but they might have made it to where it's just all of them.
Sounds like somebody's addicted and wants to get back on.
But not really, because I'm going to go to Smite servers right now, server status, and just double check. And because I know it's it all varies. So high res right now for nope, all under maintenance.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one then.
Wow, easier on their part, I guess. Yeah, Smite Blitz. I'm not trying to be mean, but is that even like? Isn't it even doing anything? I didn't like it. It was. Ugh. Paladins, I think, did well. Ram Royale did well. Tribes, I don't even know what that is.
Tribes, I've heard of tribes. Man, I can't believe Animal Crossing is still like hitting the charts.
I know, that's crazy.
I mean, it is a long game.
It kind of looks fun, but I don't have the Switch, so
I would play the living out of it. I don't care how much people talk about it.
Right, right.
When you got
childish,
when you
but
got a huge following of people that have been hyped and waiting for a game to come out for so long, and you got a huge community, even if you've never played it, with that type of backing, 9 times out of 10, it's worth looking into. I mean, it's not like, when they came out with Anthem, people were hyped because of what they saw, but there was no following before that, right?
Right.
Huge following, and it's been a transition. So, yeah, I would jump on it just for that, just for the label, just for the
yeah,
people.
it definitely would get you some viewers for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I just happen to like games that are a little weird. Ask Trix. I've told him what I like.
Well, you've seen what we play sometimes. We play some weird stuff, but we
Dude,
it's a free game to try out, so let's
it just
check
so
it out.
happens that the games that I like are like tournament based for the most part. Smite's cool because it's got that tournament base and it's got like that tower defense, which is why I originally like when I saw Trix on, I was like, oh yeah, way back when.
Right. Yeah, I like the lane type. See, I was never really a big fan of like League of Legends. I know that's like the big dog, pretty much.
Thank League of Legends for your game.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was one of the first like maybe successful multiplayer online battle arenas.
They made, I mean, Dota was there, but
Yeah, Dota was there actually because
Legends
they were
is
right
what
neck to neck for a
made that
while.
whole process successful. They were the ones that came out with the first tournaments. They were the ones that started from nothing and made it really big.
Well, what's weird is that I played Dota first, I think, before League, and I think when I played Dota, I liked the graphics were to me definitely better than League. League had that more cartoony look.
Right?
Oh, they changed it now?
You know that's changed.
Oh, I have to look at it because last I checked, it was like cartoony, and I just couldn't really get into
6
it.
years ago. Well, I mean, still, I guess you could say it's colorful.
Right.
6 years ago, they changed the whole thing. And then you've got what is that? BattleNet? BattleNet's version? What is that called?
Um, you're
Where
talking about
all of BattleNet's characters are in it.
uh, all right. Well, now I'm gonna probably play this on my browser and just does this show you like if like the captains are on about doing their thing, you could just join random games or
I have no clue. I just thought it was a stream thing.
yeah. I think the captains have to be live, I think. But some of these people like right now, some of these people that came in like Oppo Penman and Gamer Tragic, like I'm looking at my lists.
Join other people's that are online too. Like
Yeah, like I'm looking at my oh, I can zoom in on here. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, they're not like on the Twitch page, but they're or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't see them.
you know what the tower defense game is? BattleNet. Dang it.
Right, because they're probably on the stream captain game, and they're just like because you can see the list of captains that are on.
And you just pick a random one. Yeah, as long as they're playing the game, got it loaded up.
And
You
dude,
can,
and if they're playing a big ass one too, imagine the EXP you get from that.
Mm-hmm. Well, this one's about 24 minutes. I think I'm gonna give it time just to get it loaded up, let it do like a regular battle.
How about you eat something on stream? We can turn it to food channel.
Might as well. Maybe I'll be like, yeah, man versus food. I
Hey,
love food. Maybe I'll start biting into the back. Well, guys, the texture is there. Like it's got like this wet, moist. Like when you first bite into it, it's like a river stream, and then eventually it turns into like a dry cactus. Like once the cactus gets sucked out too much. So within 5 seconds in after chewing this meal, it's you definitely get that impression. No, I'm just playing. Like be like those like cooking shows.
see the inside of Trix's kitchen. Smart fridge and everything.
A smart fridge? Nah, why would I do that?
All that Coke money.
Well, I like Coca-Cola, man. I don't like Pepsi.
Sponsor.
Oh gosh, I forgot to do yoga today. Dang it.
Oh, it was called Heroes of the Storm. That's right.
Oh, Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, forgot about that. Yeah.
I didn't figure you were a Blizzard guy, anyways.
No, Blizzard.
Ever since Activision bought them.
Right. I liked it. Overwatch was fun. Like I said, I enjoyed the heck out of the beta, but never really went about buying the game. I just
You were cheap back then.
yeah, I think I'm always cheap.
Just be realistic. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
frugal.
Yeah. There's some things where I know like what to spend money on, and some things that just like I'm like no. Like when I set my mind to it, I'm just like no, I won't buy it.
Does one explode snow? Well, if we work off the theory that something very hot hitting something very cold, drink many hot chocolates and pee really quickly.
The heck am I hearing somebody backing up a car right now in this neighborhood? Oh, it's daytime. That's right. Nah,
Your truck's being towed.
don't say that.
At least we know he has a truck.
Hmm. Well, they can't get all of them because I got them in the garage, so I ain't worried about it.
Can't get all of them. I mean, the way you be talking about your neighborhood sometimes, you know, they might be able to.
Yeah, they might know how to ghetto rig it, but I got a heartbeat monitor sensors pretty much for the vehicles, so that way I can
Ring does not count as a heartbeat sensor.
But no, like the alarms, you know, like shows your car and it tells you like what's being like.
Rick seems like that guy that has Ring on every single door in his house.
Probably.
Child's bedroom, Ring.
Hmm.
Ring. Garage
So
outside
somebody
and
knocks on the
inside.
door.
Car door.
You know what? I think I'm gonna start this battle. There's 9 of us. I think we can do this. This level's kind of easy.
Bro, hold on.
You guys ready? You ready, Jay? You ready, Kelso?
No.
Yep.
No.
You ready, Solid? I know you can hear us, but you can't hear us because you're sleeping. Nope. Can't hear you. So I'm about to start. Ready? 3,
No,
2, 1. Did you hear something, Jim? I can't hear anything. Ready? 3, 2.
No.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I had to switch OBS from a different monitor. Man, I wonder if that's always been my problem. Unbelievable.
All of this investigating got you noticing. Sorry, I need like 58 seconds just to be able to put a nurture out.
What are the odds that my motherboard, GPU, and CPU are all at 39 degrees Celsius? Man, now that I took my GPU apart, now I want to put a hybrid kit on it now.
I mean, you've already done part of the work.
Right? Now I know how to take the plate off. It was actually pretty easy. When I looked at a video, like other cards looked more complex than mine. Like my wires were actually so organized. It was so easy. Like I didn't have to worry about tucking them in or whatever.
That's what you get for that price you paid.
Yeah, it better. Like when I took it apart, I saw I saw the heat pads,
You didn't
thermal
get a
pads.
Walmart PC.
Oh
Why
yeah,
do you get
screw
thermal
that.
pads instead of paste?
No. I had paste on the where the GP or like where the plate was, but there was thermal pads all throughout the card.
Oh.
That's kind of interesting. And then the heating core pipes were pretty freaking thick, but it still runs hot.
No, that's Smite.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I was
Then you gotta get a new PC.
I was running freaking 40 degrees Celsius, man. Unacceptable. I should be at like 20.
We should discuss how you almost crashed
Yeah.
on Smite.
Me? Great.
It was baking. We almost had some sour cream and onions, but
Probably. But I was filming there once while to see if my tire was getting hot. It was not even getting hot.
you don't want to put that
It's 115.
What?
That's too hot.
What?
Look, it's 98. That's not bad.
Okay, guys. You know that. Actually, we'll just pick a random winner. The winner is Neo. Ooh. Good job, bro. Good job. Let's get the next one, guys. The next battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally, it's not rigged.
You said it was. You said finally it's not rigged.
Finally, yes. Actually, somebody else got it.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah, I didn't do the raffle, Kels. I just chose random, and it actually chose a different person, so that's cool.
You
Mm-mm-mm.
running son of a gun.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
We're just gonna go in with what we got and see what we can do until we fail.
Let's see if I can
Speed
buy
run.
something.
Oh yeah. All right, so for this one, I think I'll wait for people to get on, and then I'm gonna get some rest. I think
For the wicked.
I've been on. Well, my rest is in the sarcophagus. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I've been on long enough. Been doing way more hours than usual. I think I'll be fine.
Finally.
Well, technically, this is a new week.
Look, you've got some more viewers out of it too.
Yeah. You know what's weird? That I've been uploading these to YouTube, and my YouTube views even gone up. That's weird. I don't know. Maybe more people are at home. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's definite.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I was
Maybe.
Shh.
That's for sure. Hey, this is the time for you to capitalize, Tricks. You've been waiting many years.
But why do I have to look on YouTube? Now I see Maggie on a freaking like thumbnail of season 10's finale. Like, now I know Maggie's gonna be in it. Like, why do I see this stuff? I don't want to see that.
Same reason why you see all the women that are recommended for your channel.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out, see what I got.
You got titties, bro. You got titties for days. Dude, I found this coolest mouse pad ever.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
So it was a Deadpool mouse pad,
Mm-hmm.
and it has this rest for your wrist, and it's bulged titties on Deadpool. And in the upper left it says, "I'm touching myself tonight."
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
So awesome. So wanna buy it.
That's how you do it.
Deadpool with titties, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had baby legs. Why not? What else can he surprise us with? Yeah, because like, look, okay, so like the last video was like Call of Duty / Sea of Thieves, and then I had Resident Evil. Well, of course, Resident Evil had good views because it was a new game.
Sounds like you're headed down the right path.
Mm-hmm. My Bomberman didn't do so well. My Forest didn't do so good.
Well, you know it's not hitting.
Yeah, I know.
Forest was actually getting people too before.
Hey, you know how you get the views, Tricks? Put
Ah.
speedrun in your title.
Man.
Speedrun.
Honestly, I wanted to speedrun, like, so, especially like some of those retro games, but it's like,
No, just so people click on it.
yeah, clickbait, yeah.
Speedrun.
Or just put just chatting.
And then just place, yeah, this was my speedrun.
No, that was like Dread Out. I put my face on a woman's body and people were clicking it, man.
Did you shave your chin strap?
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, people were viewing that video for sure. And maybe they didn't look at the face. Maybe they were just looking at the chest, but
Kylie Jenner plays Smite.
look at that. Yeah, like both of them had good high views. And they both had copyright, probably because of the Tamatucasita thing. Man.
Just take it away.
Yeah, I might have to remove it, man. Might have to do it. Devotion, I had pretty good. Devotion. What game was? I don't even remember.
You weren't devoted.
Devotion. It was before I played Convenience Store. Oh man, that game. No, don't get me started with that.
That was a weird game.
It was. You know what? Like, it was weird. The graphics were not the best in all places, but it was interesting. Different, that's for sure.
Very quick.
And it was very quick, yeah. And it was weird. Now, the Suicide of Rachel Foster, I was very disappointed with it.
Yeah, I was disappointed by just watching it.
I kind of felt like it was coming, and nothing. Like, there were moments where you, like, it had that creepy, like, soundtrack and atmosphere and, like, the whole using like the ghost signal radar or whatever thingy, and I'm like, oh my god, we're getting close to something. I mean, something's gonna start appearing now. We might get chased. But the way my character ran so slow, I'm like, judging by that, I kind of figured not much would happen, and I was right. I should have trusted my instincts. Just from a mechanics point of view, like a mechanical point, like, man, we got 9 people in here already.
False advertised so badly.
Yeah, like it had good commentary, like between her talking to the guy on the phone. There was a good like narrating around with it, but other than that, it was more like a picture book, but you're playing it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pretty good.
To be in a horror category, not a horror game. Major failure for a horror game. Man, 50 seconds left. I think I got another troop out there. Wow. Who's this one?
We should lose it. Oh my god.
Oh, we gotta rely on tricks. Yep, we're done.
Oh, thanks. I have a retry token. I'm not gonna waste it.
Oh, why not?
Only got one.
All right. You're speedrunning.
But how much? How much do I?
I don't know. You get the most out of all of us. We get nothing.
I got him.
You just gotta wait 20 minutes. That's all. No.
Yeah. Oh, you get 20 minutes for another retry token?
No, you get 20 minutes till we can lay enough things down to win, and maybe you get another.
Oh. Get a new map. Screw that.
New map.
All right, so let's see. So there's 1, 1, 2, and then a mystery. Yeah. Oh, what the heck?
Hey, you want to know a cool game that looks really weird?
What's that?
Really weird. It's called Freedom Finger.
Hmm.
Check it out. It's on Steam.
Oh, what is it? What? What?
Freedom Finger.
Oh.
It's so weird, but it's good.
That's one good thing about Steam, though. It's always had like weird stuff.
Nothing like being a middle finger fist spaceship.
Wow.
Right. No, I didn't look it up. Oh, you did, Jim? Really?
Yep, I'm looking at the trailer right now. Wow.
Awesome, dude. It's still awesome though.
Yeah, the sun's coming up. I can't believe this.
John DiMaggio.
That looks so good.
Well, with this one, guys, we're not gonna rush it. We're just gonna let it do its thing, and then I will start it once it, the timer runs out. So, for the most part, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everything. I really do appreciate it a lot. We're gonna go ahead and do a little recap here on the activity feed here. Project Zero coming in 5 hours ago with the tier bits. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for that.
I'm on the mobile.
Awesome, by the way.
$15?
Take a break. It's nighttime for me. Trick.
Cheap, bro.
You guys even know what time it is?
Probably because you're buying all the
Wow, 7 in the morning. Oh my god. All right, guys. No, but seriously, I gotta go. So I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for everything. You guys have a good night. Bye bye.
Look at that. Hey, here, I'm gonna do this one.
What? Who? What?
Who? What now?
Who? How? What?
Who? What? And the where now?
I don't know.
That's what's up. Aw, man, right when I put in uptime, I wanted to see how long you went.
Huh?
5 hours, 43 minutes, and 30 seconds. See, if you had waited 20 more minutes, you'd have had a 6-hour stream. Could have done a little epic quest.
Yeah, but if we round it off, it's over a half-hour mark, so estimated wise, it's still considered 6 hours.
I like what Project Zero said there. That's good.
I'm streaming the heck out of TFT.
I never got into those games or that game.
Which one?
You have or haven't?
I haven't. League of Legends, Teamfight Net. I don't like the overhead view.
Well, you know what? That's the whole joy of video games. Though there's different preferences, different genres for different people. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody's gonna agree.
I want to try. Jim.
Yeah.
Do you want to try one of those, or you don't want to? I didn't really catch
I
that.
don't want to try it. Nope.
How do you know
It's
if you've
not
never
my type.
tried it?
I don't like the top view.
I
I've
mean,
played several
it's not old
games that
school
was top
SOCOM.
view. I just